Hello and welcome. We are Appalachian Dragons. This is where me and my favorite backwoods bastards get together and we like to play Dungeons and Motherfucking Dragons.
Dungeons
Dungeons.
and Dragons.
And dragons.
Tonight we are on session 20, I think, session 20 of our adventure in Tyranny of Flagons, where we last left off. The Lords of Nightstone had just finished attending a council meeting in the city of Waterdeep, gathering together information and trying to make a plan of counterattack to launch an offensive against the Well of Dragons, as the forces of Tiamat and the Cult of the Dragon were preparing for the ritual. The lords did come across a good deal of information. One, that the ancient red dragon Clouth had not left his lair to join the well, and this was believed to be cause for interest that he might be able to be persuaded to join your own cause. The party also learned that the hordes of undead that had been wandering their way southward had been destroyed when they defeated Malek, and yet had begun to rise again bit by bit. Some dark force bringing them back and picking up where Malek left off. This became a priority target, as if they can cut the snake's head off, for a rough turn of phrase, they can eliminate the horde in its entirety, thus making it much easier for the troops to get in and get the job done. The party also became privy to the information that the obsidian wormling had not only hatched and shown incredible traits, but had apparently been set loose. The party worked with Safine and several other of the gemstone dragons, as well as Morningstar, to combine their powers to work together and create a new set of dragon masks, one for each of the gemstone dragons, more or less. This had the effects of Goldbrand taking on the aspect of the emerald, his tattoos becoming emerald in design, and his eyes becoming becoming slitted and a little more feral. Yuan growing bluer to his truer hue as a water ganassi, as well as streaks of sapphire across his skin and eyes. Pandora, her bow affixing itself with these amethyst and running their way up her arm, as well as the brooch that the amethyst dragon had given to had been amplified. Davos, with the topaz dragon mask, had his feathers become resplendent gems that bedazzled, for lack of a better word, his wingspan. And Arcanox, anticipating the ruby dragon mask, instead had a mask formed that was rather dull, a dark black mask, a little glossy, but not exactly what anyone was expecting. Nonetheless, the 5 Lords of Nightstone in their new gear prepared for their next adventure, which was to track down Cloth and persuade him to join them. After a tense bit of bargaining back and forth, they were successful in this endeavor, and Cloth agreed to assist them. He also agreed to provide them with a boon if they would allow him to keep the hoard that had been amassed. The party did agree to these terms and allowed Cloth to lay his claim, and in return he bestowed them with an airship that he had taken from the cultist of the dragon. He happily gave them this, and the last thing that happened is Safine patching in to let the lords know that the obsidian dragon had been discovered to be missing. And that is where we left off on Tyranny of Flagons! And we are back. As we return to the lair of cloth, the largest dragon in the material plane, Old Snarl, the party has just received this message. It's still ringing in your ears. Safine's voice, and I'll repeat this just for to keep it fresh. The obsidian wormling is loose. We don't know where or how, but he is not in the demiplane we sealed him in. All 5 of us are searching for him. I'm afraid until we find him, there is little we can do elsewhere to aid the cause. I'll keep you posted as soon as we find any information. As this is a sending spell, there is the opportunity to reply if any of you wish to do so.
Damn thing never ceases to cause problems.
Accurate.
Sorry,
Anything else, though?
To Safine?
Yeah.
Do you have someone on the way? Oh, I can't ask questions. Send someone to the well.
Send someone to the well.
Yeah. Don't matter who.
She'll patch in and say, I'm sending a new message. We do hope to have some intelligence gathered in the area, but much of it's been warded from scrying, and it's dangerous territory to be in. That we know of, there's at least 6 adult dragons in the area, making navigating there a little difficult. We're tracing our steps the best we can, but I am certain that nothing came into my demiplane. I have too many wards and alarms that would be triggered if something like that were to happen, and it shouldn't be possible to begin with. At the moment, it appears as if he left willingly.
I mean, this isn't so much in response to the message, but to the group, is like, yeah, he's going to the fucking wells. The horn blows and brings all the dragons, and then this thing leaves. I also have no suspicion. He'll also
how did it get out of the demiplane?
Well, so did it hatch before or after the masks were made?
Before the masks were made. When the horn first blew, I think it was 3 days ago now, the egg hatched. It was somewhere in an undisclosed location. And then for them to attend the meeting, they placed it in a demiplane where it would be secure until they could return to it. And apparently, sometime after when they went back to check on him, he was not present. You know that the horn has blown a couple of times since, but it shouldn't be heard in a demiplane to begin with.
Doesn't stop it from hearing it, after it gets out.
Someone broke him out.
Sounds like he left. Which, dragons are smart AF, and for the most part powerful AF. After a certain point, they can kind of do whatever they want. Do you have any ideas, Arcs? This is sort of your bags.
Yeah, but magical dragons have never really been my forte. She says that they said that once the obsidian dragon ling hatched, it already was proficient in magic. It could have been its own doing.
Gorbran wants to
Who knows?
At cloth.
Like maybe it knows magics we don't know about.
Oh, that's a very good thought. Gorbran, I don't say that out loud. Gorbran wants to glance at cloth because I know he can fucking hear this shit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Gorbran wants to.
At the moment, he is still visible. He has just laid the ship down before you, and is sort of curled into the back of his lair, awaiting to see what you do. He has not heard Safine's incoming message. He might have heard words. He definitely heard anything you discussed between yourselves. But I think rules as written, he would have not heard your response to Safine.
I want to get a beat on him when Ark says Obsidian Dragonling, because he said that out loud.
Yes, I did.
Roll an insight check if you'd like.
Yes, please.
I will. 24. Actually, very solid. Give me 1 second.
I don't know. Mostly, Goldberg's trying to discern if he knew the existence of the obsidian dragon egg or not.
Oh, come on. Pardon me, D&D Beyond is being a little lucky.
What else is new?
Exactly, yes. Uh, ba- ba- da- ba- da- ba- da- ba- ba- da- ba. You do catch a bit of surprise in his eyes. It's unclear if, based on what Ark said, it's unclear if he is surprised, or what all of you have said, it's unclear if he's surprised at its mere existence or if he's surprised that it has escaped. But it is definitely new information to him.
I think it's best.
Hope
if we-
so.
Think it's best if we take our leaves. I feel like Davos will thank Cloth. Goldberg would not. He would just try to go to the ship. Be
I
rude.
think we should ask
Well-
her where she suggests we go at this point.
Let's get on the
Like,
ship and get
we
out of
think
here.
we should go to the will, but
Let's get on the ship and get out of here so Cloth can't hear us. I don't want to keep feeding him information.
As Davos will say his salutations to Cloth, who will merely nod his head and then fade back into invisibility. Even with your true sight up, I think two of you, I think it was Davos and Goldbrand who activated it, he is pulling far enough back where he is outside of the range of that.
Sneaky
You
boy.
do not have a visual on him anymore, but you know he's definitely present.
Do we need a crew
Uh,
on this ship?
Funny you asked that.
Oh,
As you approach the ship, let's get a closer look at it. So the ship hull itself is covered in dragonhide. Its sails are made from red dragon wings, making them all fireproof and making the ship itself very well protected. It's both larger and sturdier than the Westwind Wyvern, and you see that carved onto the right side is the word Red Wing. This is on
Ooh.
each side of the helm. You see that there are 4 masts with 3 crow. Oh, actually, you're still within this cavern. However, I'm going to take you to a different map so you can get a visual. A better visual, anyway.
Yeah.
There are 4 masts with 3 crow's nests, 4 ballista mounted to the top deck, as well as 1 greater ballista at the helm, which seems to have harpoon rigging. You also see that there are the doors to a captain's quarters right about here, and there are stairs that lead down beside it. I think that Arcanox would know right away that the 5 of you could probably get this ship up and airborne. You couldn't run it for very long, like you couldn't do it 24/7, for example, and you couldn't run the ship and its weapons with only 5, but you could get it airborne.
Get it to a crew.
Well, all right, boys.
If we can
Hands
get-
to the sail.
Yeah.
I'd say like Arcanauts would start like barking orders and explaining all of like the things we would need to do to sail, kind of thing.
Yeah, I think there is a bit where
Like Gully the
Arcanox
mast.
I think Arcanox would assess that this ship is a little different from the Westwind Wyvern. Mechanically,
Hey man,
you might want to do a
he
little bit
has
of
the
poking
same as a
around.
lion, man.
Yeah, you might want to do a little bit of digging below deck to see what you could find out before you set sail.
Actually, that would be a good idea. Yeah. So like,
Pandora would help us
investigation,
with
I guess?
Yeah, if you guys go down deck, below deck, you see in the very rear of the ship, there are 3 steel chambers inscribed with primordial runes. I think that Yuan speaks primordial, so I'll give you for free that these are containment chambers, and he can ascertain that they are specifically for fire elementals. This provides the ship's thrust and lift. There are also, you can see, lines that run to thrusters that are on the rear of the ship, and these are adjustable on levers that are just to the right of the ship's wheel. You also see on this deck that there are 12 cannons that line the sides of the ship, as well as dry stores of gunpowder and these brass railings that think of it almost like Rube Goldberg machine that run along the entire length of the cabin where cannonballs are stored. And it seems like, well, if you were to take one to load it, immediately a new one would fall into its place. It is made very efficiently. There's also a small brig with 2 cells and stairs that lead further down. I think Yuan would also pick up that the elementals are likely still within the chambers, but do not seem to be particularly active. They might have to be stirred a bit before you can be ready for takeoff.
Give them a breath weapon, man.
Hey man, I know them elementals. They speak primordial. And get them rocking and rolling.
Do you guys go back up deck? Do you check out the 3rd level, or do you check out the captain's quarters? 3 areas you have not seen yet.
I think it's worth picking downstairs before we go on.
Okay.
You can do that. I'm gonna check out the captain's quarters. See if we have any
Yeah.
like navigation equipment, that kind of shit.
We'll start with below the 3rd deck, as it is. You see that this area is largely devoted to a crew quarters, large enough for about 15 crewmen, mostly simple hammocks, but a couple of actual rooms with simple straw bunk beds. You also find that there is an area where you find ample supplies of cultist robes, providing you disguises should you need them. You also find a set of keys to the brig. There is a dry storage area, and some of the food has rotted, but you see several barrels marked salted meat or pickled vegetables, and of course rum, that appear to be still sealed. You also see a mess hall and the lowest deck, a long table and benches that appear to be securely nailed to the floor, and some have as well as some countertops with latched cabinets and a simple stove that seems to tap into the elemental containment above for its heat source. Unless anyone has any questions for that.
Wilbrand will pick up the keys to the brig and make his way
The-
back towards Ark, who I know is at captain's quarters.
Ark, as you go to the captain's quarters, you find that the door is locked. You can try the keys that are on the brig ring, but none of those seem to fit. Those seem to be strictly for the brig in the middle deck. You gather somebody might have to pick this open.
Somebody of the feline nature.
Yeah, get up here, Pandora.
Wanna
Yeah, I
roll
would
me
have been following you around anyway. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Want to give us a sleight of hand?
36.
30. God, so stupid. That is a 19 though. That's very good. Yeah. The door clicks open with little issue.
Easy
As
peasy.
you step inside, let's say Ark and Pandora each make a perception check for me.
Oh, I love perceiving shit.
Make a dexterity saving throw.
Yeah,
26.
56 is very solid. We'll see if Ark can top that. 19 solid.
Nah.
Again. With a 26 bar, we get a good bit. The first thing you see is that the interior of the captain's quarters is a tousled mess, likely from being moved around by cloth. You see bits of rotten food, chairs that are sort of strewn asunder, books and papers scattered across the space. Much of the furniture, the 4-poster bed, nightstand, a broad desk, and several tables, remain firmly affixed in place. They are nailed into floorboards, as it is an airship that might occasionally need to make evasive maneuvers. You also see a crystalline sphere lies mounted to a wooden platform standing in the center of the room. And a large map of Faerun is framed on one wall. You also find, with your 26, you find the captain's log tucked away underneath the mattress. It appears to be just notes on navigation, nothing particularly juicy in it. But you do see that the last entry is dated about 3 weeks ago and seems to be the captain's admittedly bleak prospects of trying to make their case to Cloth.
This
The
diary
last-
sucks.
There's no pictures in here.
For sure. You do find it very dull. It is literally flew to this location, dropped off this cargo, flew to this location. And even from the perspective of this being your enemy, it does not seem to be anything particularly useful. With a 26, you also are going to find out. Ooh, you get two things. On the captain's desk, you see that there is a blue crystal embedded within the wood. You're not certain what it is. Somebody might have to take a closer look at that. But you do also find the door to a hidden chest embedded into the side of the nightstand, also locked.
I'm gonna unlock that nightstand.
Yeah, roll for me.
All right. Let's see. That's a 34 that time.
Why do I even ask? Yeah, there's not too much in here, but you do find 250 platinum pieces, which is a total of 2,500 gold. As
Can
well
I
as
investigate and make sure those aren't mimic coins?
Absolutely, yes, please do.
Another perception?
Investigation, actually.
Investigation, okay. Which mine sucks. That's a 7. I would definitely want to ask, be like, they look fine to me. Anyone else want to double check these?
I'll allow one other person to make an investigation check.
Mine is not.
All right, who's got a better?
I think Devos is okay. Let's see.
No one's good
Yeah.
at investigation in this party.
Yeah, we're all ant up.
Hey, now I got a +6. You calm down.
Oh, okay. Nice move.
Oh, yeah, you do it then.
No,
I
you don't want
stand
me to roll
corrected.
because I'll roll a nat 1. Watch me go.
Do it.
I'll roll a 19.
Almost the opposite. With a 19, you do see that all of these are actual platinum. You have not yet seen any platinum mimic coins. Most of them go for the standard gold variety. You gather that's to be a little easier to blend in, draws less attention. Sort of how, if you bring 100 into some place, they might check it with a marker to see if it's legit. But, if you give them a 20, they're probably just going to take it. You also gather that because there's an even number of them, that this is the full amount and it hasn't been diminished. Nothing's been munching on it. But you do get 250 platinum and a diamond worth 300 gold if you want to
That'll
add
be great
that
when we
into your
start dying.
inventory.
Diamond's important.
You know what,
Give it
Yuan?
to
I'm going to allow
Davos.
that investigation. Well,
If it's clean, we should give it to Davos so he can revivify people.
Yeah.
I guess Goldbrand could too, but I don't know if I have that spell prepared.
Yuan, with this investigation, you also pick up that the gemstone on the captain's desk is a sending stone, which I think you guys have some in your possession. Barbara has one in the form of an earring, so you know that it's typically paired to another stone,
Hello,
or,
anybody
or,
home?
or a network of stones. So it's not like, oh, let's text Safine real quick. It's like you're sending something to a group chat, and you're not sure who else is on that chat. You also gather that the crystalline sphere that is in the center of the room in the I think of it almost like a globe. It's not a globe, it is just blue crystal, but it is in that kind of stand that you would expect to see a globe in. You gather that is definitely worth looking closer into.
And so I shall.
Give me an arcana, history, or investigation.
I think they're all the same.
They're all intelligence based, so that might be the case.
I'm gonna do Arcana, because why not?
Yeah,
Haha, I rolled a 2.
that's why not. How do you check this out?
I'm gonna
Like,
squint
how are
at
you
it real hard.
investigating?
I think I just
Squint at it
really
real
want to. I really just want to look at it for a while and see if it appears to exude anything magical.
It does have some arcane runes that are inscribed in the wooden mount that it supports it. You're not quite certain what it's for. I think with an 8, part of you is a little afraid to touch it, but you're not sure if that's because it's legitimately a threat or if you're just like, it's kind of the same as me when you open the hood of a vehicle, like, should I fuck with this or am I gonna make it worse? Like,
Man, if that's my thought process, I think I would almost consider like, I don't know, I'm kind of stupid. I'll pull my mage hand out and like poke it, see if anything happens.
ooh, with a mage hand, you poke the crystal, and Yeah, I think that would still function. As you touch it, it glows dimly, and it projects 5 colored lights onto the map of Faerun that is mounted onto the wall.
Ooh.
You see that there is a blue and green light that linger around the Well of Dragons. You see that there is a white light to the far northeast, where the spine of the world meets the Anarok Desert. There is a black light near the center of the map, around Yatar Golden Fields, and a blinking red light flashing in the Clothen Vale.
Hmm.
I don't think you've ascertained the full scope of this, but you've definitely stumbled onto something.
Are these
Just-
all great worms?
Just gesture broadly. Does anyone know what this means?
They could be ships. They could be other dragons like Cloth. Devin thought they were mask at first, but if that were the case, there would be 2 dots where we are.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you've also destroyed 2 of your masks, so in theory, it's not the mask.
That's true. We
The
don't
only
have
other thing I could think to do would be that it might be tracking the other sending stones, like the one we have on the ship, for some reason.
Yeah.
I just wondered if it was maybe the people who are on that voice message.
Other ships or something.
Yeah, this is the
Poke
red
the
wing.
intercom button.
Yeah, if this is the red wing, why not, a black wing, etc., etc.
Oh yeah.
Devin, I'm going to roll something for Davos, even or odd? Even? It is even. I think Davos would come and look closer at the gem, at the crystal, and he might try to press his fingers to it to get a closer look at the runes. And as he does, it slightly shifts the sphere, and as it does, the red blinking marker on the map moves, and he rolls it around a bit and gathers that he can move the marker. The ship itself doesn't seem to respond to this, but they're tied somehow to some type of navigation.
Oh, look at me. I'm Davos. I'm not scared of anything. I just touch stuff all willy-nilly. Nothing bad ever happens to me.
That's
Something
not
bad going
true
to
at
happen
all.
when he dies.
It's
Or
like
it
what?
works.
It's in the middle of the captain's quarters. It's not a trap, surely. ...
Turned you into a dragons or some shit. No offense.
And you say that
It's
like
hard.
it would be a bad
Yeah,
thing.
too hard. Do you think we can get this off the ground, Ark? At least get it out. Maybe get our people with a teleport or take it to them.
I've done more with less, Gully. This definitely seems skyworthy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Only one thing left to do. Fuck around to find out.
Oh,
I've got some 1 second, let me scroll over that. Like I said, Ark, you're very confident y'all can get it airborne. It's a little tricky because you are in the cavern of Cloth's lair. There's sort of a tunnel, granted a broad tunnel, but not exactly a straight shot to get outside. You're not familiar with the gate stone itself. This is not Arcana that you've particularly used. It might take I will say before y'all move out there was one more gem on the captain's desk that has of yet been. Oh no, we talked about that being ascending. Y'all do. Yeah. Yeah. As you all head back up deck to get the ship moving, we're gonna have a few challenges for each of you.
Oh boy.
There are a few processes to get this set up right. First, I think we're going to give it to Goldbrand. Goldbrand, you see that beside the captain's main wheel, there are several steel levers. Each of them seems to be not rusted, but sort of caught in a bind from lack of use over these last few weeks. These control the direction of the thrusters, which will have to be adjusted before you can get yourself lined up. Can you give me an athletics check to try to force these into place?
Oh, a nice one.
Very nice. Not only do
One
you
has wings.
knock that rust loose, you get it stirred, and you do it with such force that it rattles the entire system a bit, and it's gonna give someone else a benefit. Josh, you know that the next part of this process will be stirring the elementals and getting them fired up, as it were, because Goldbrand has sort of stirred some interest and sort of woken them up as is. You're going to make this check with advantage, but I'm going to need an Arcana check.
Hmm.
And roll once more, just see if we get in that 20. Yeah, with a 25, you very much. How do you go about stirring them up? What?
I think I would talk to them in their native tongue a little bit to let them know that someone's here that understands them. And ask them if there's anything they need to feel themselves, whether it be I don't know. I offer to give them some fire to fuel their flames if they want, or ask them if there's anything else they want.
You do gather through speaking with them, that they are not exactly thrilled to be the batteries for this vessel. They are contained in here, but they almost seem to see it as a form of punishment. They are serving time, for lack of a better word. You provide them with a bit of a spark to get them fired up, and before too long, the thrusters are glowing red hot as blue flames begin to exude from them. As this is happening, Barbara, you know that the sails are not in the right position to give you the smoothest course of entry out of here. So I'm going to need you to make an acrobatics or an acrobatics or a sleight of hand check to get the sails and ropes manned correctly.
Wow, I use sleight of hand because I'm working with my hands.
There we go. This is no strange work to you. The sails might be a little different and the structure of the ship a little unfamiliar. However, you've worked on enough vessels to where you very quickly get everything where it needs to be. And before too long, everything is in position. And you actually have a bit of lift now. Davos.
Bro, do you even lift?
Davos is going to try to help you guys navigate out here without hitting any stalagmites or stalactites or running into the wall of the canyon. He's going to play the role of spotter. Devin, will you roll a perception check for our Barty boy?
Bam. Gross.
Ooh. Davos does try to do this, but he's the ship has an unusual way of moving to where instead of like one elemental providing lift and the other providing thrust, they all sort of thrust off at the same time. And this creates an unusual point of navigation for everyone. So the thrust of the ship, think of it like you're used to a rowboat and suddenly in a speedboat where the power is strictly at the back. The entire ship tilts a bit. This catches Davos a bit off guard, and y'all do come precariously close to crashing into running alongside one of the walls, which would, of course, damage the ship. Arcanox, this is going to be your opportunity to try to steer out of this. Can you give me a charisma saving throw? And because 3 of your crewmen passed, you may make it with advantage. As Ark shouts out orders and tries to get everyone on the same page, you are again sort of struggling with the unfamiliarity of this. It's taking you just a little bit by surprise how different it is from flying the Wyvern. You do manage to curtail the impact a bit, but do run along the side of the wall just a bit, and I'm going to say the ship is going to take 3d10 points of damage.
Yeah.
You hear Pandora just cussing wherever she is, unfurling the sail, like manning the sails. Just
open your damn eyes, Dawnbringer.
There's a brief moment where you see that like Pandora is like hanging off by a rope like off the side of the ship before she quickly pulls herself up. This does not do a great deal of damage. It is still very much flight ready. Let me just update that. I will tell you for mechanical purposes, the ship has 350 hit points and an armor class of 19. It also has a damage threshold, but we'll burn that bridge if we come to it. Fantastic. As you guys make your way through the tunnel, everyone doing their positions, Arcanox guiding you all, you do manage to exit the cavern and get into the Cloth and Veil and airborne. You very quickly get to a cruising altitude where you feel like not everyone is needed strictly at their post. But there is the matter now of trying to figure out where you're going and how the hell you're going to get there. There does not seem to be an instruction manual, for lack of a better word, for the Gatestone, wherever and whatever that is. So you're going to have to do a little bit of digging. Let's start with the healthy conversation of where are you headed?
You ready? Do we have a heading?
Yeah, joke's on you. None of us know. I think the wormling is going to go to the well. We could try to hit it off, or we could follow. We don't know what path it would take.
Wait
Yeah,
a
you
second.
don't know-
Didn't we also know where was the undead army being risen?
The undead army was being raised in the southeastern area of the map. The last known sighting, or the last known location where the dead were rising was Everaska, which is a city just north of the Well of Dragons. You do know that it is likely north of that city. You also know that how do I phrase this? You will have a hard time flying the ship long term without a crew, and that a couple of you had expressed wanting to get a night's sleep before you have that particular encounter.
Yeah, would be good.
We do have to get a crew for anything else.
So where's the nearest place we can get a crew and get rest?
Our crew's
Is it
in
Nightstone? Is it Waterdeep?
Is that
Okay.
right? Our crew's in Waterdeep.
Yeah,
Ben's
yeah. The
crew.
crew of the Western Wyvern is most certainly still in Waterdeep. Last seen with the Flagon Dragon. You could certainly get there. You know that while this ship, you do notice, is faster than the Wyvern, it will still be several days to get there manually.
I'm gonna go look at the rock if I can find it.
So my first thought was like, if we point the reflection at Waterdeep, does the ship start going that way? After that, Goldbrand's out of ideas.
If you go down and you turn the sphere until the indicator gets close to Waterdeep, you don't see any immediate change in the ship's trajectory, but you gather you're on the right path.
It's leading everyone else to our destination to converge here.
Goldbrand can't see the map anyway, he's too blind.
I think I just had Josh roll earlier. I will allow one other character to make an Arcana, History, or Investigation check. I think Davos might have a decent history, if I'm not mistaken.
All of those are +3.
That might be the highest we got for.
Yeah, I was gonna say better than me.
We'll give it a little good. I was gonna say good old college try here.
He will look at it and go, "Yep, that looks good. That's our spot." Not sure how to really kickstart this thing if he kicks the stand of the crystal, but nothing seems to happen.
I bet it's got a command word.
What was that?
Said Goldbrand wouldn't know to say this, but I bet it's got a command word or something similar. Wasn't in the captain's log.
Yeah, the captain's log did not seem to have any technical information. You could always check around the ship to see if there's anything else that might provide information for this. If anyone wants to make an investigation check, I will say up to 2 people.
You on yours?
Y'all don't want my +1 in here.
There's Davos investigation. You want to hit one too?
Mine's -1, so.
You want me to hit one? Okay, fine, I'll
Yeah,
do it.
hit one too.
Pray to the skies. Hey, 23.
23, that's pretty solid, actually. You do a bit of digging around, and you're a little disappointed. You know, there's tons of papers in the captain's room. You spend some time trying to sort through those to see if anything is of use. And unfortunately, nothing seems to be particularly relevant. You do see some information that you already are aware of. You see some correspondence between the Red Wing and Molek, the White Wyrm speaker, relaying information about the flight paths of devils and things that might be in the area, as well as even picking up fiends to rapidly teleport and transport them to get them to the well without the need for them to cross so much territory. Um, Unfortunately, do not find much in the way of information on the Gatestone itself. With a 23, you do notice that in the crew quarters, or excuse me, in the dry storage, you see that while some of the food is rotted, and while there are sealed barrels, um, this area has been disturbed. It is not evenly dusted as much of the other spaces of the ship are from its weeks of inactivity.
Can we check out the dust prints and see if there's any like a trail, so to say?
Yeah, I will allow Yuan probably again has. I will say if Pandora is helping you, Josh, roll one more time with advantage, or roll one more time to make that check with advantage, quote unquote.
Or some shit we missed.
Well, 17.
Uh, you look around and you're confident that someone has been here within that 3-week window. You're just not certain where they are now.
Sus.
You ones, do you think the elementals would know how to make the rock work?
No. Maybe. No. Could.
Maybe? No.
Probably not. I don't.
It's worth a thought.
Let me think. I'm trying to think about who I have on board. The only one who might have a slight idea.
Oh, I meant the ones in the engine.
Oh, go ask him. Maybe.
Yuan's
I
like,
thought-
which one of these dead guys in my head would know?
I thought you meant mine. I was like, I don't think any of them are gonna know any more than I do.
Yeah.
The ones in the engine. No, they may not know either. They're out there trapped in the engine. I don't know.
I was just gonna go look at it. I could ask him. It can't hurt.
No, yeah, for sure. What do you ask them?
I'll look across him and I'll say, I know this is weird because you are currently on the wrong side of some bars and a few runes, but I have to ask. There's a big rock somewhere on this ship that seems to open a gate of some sort to allow the ship to move, through interplanar means. Have you overheard anything about that? Where it might be, how it works?
The elementals will tell you. While they are not able to provide exact information, they do know that there seems to be something that draws a great deal of their energy and channels it up to the captain's quarters. They know that it's typically done by a spellcaster, although they don't know the exact nature of activation. Do you ask them anything else?
If they say that, I'll say, you mean like directly above us in the captain's quarters? Does it happen often?
They will say, most days, not every day. Not for some weeks. It's been rather quiet, except for the vermin.
The vermin, We did notice that something might have been shuffling about. Have you seen anything interesting between the last people who ran this ship and us?
They say that they have not seen anything, of course, being contained. However, they have heard some shifting about in the lower quarters.
Time might be kind of hard for you here, but about how long ago do you think it would have happened?
Earlier today.
Oh.
That is interesting indeed. You have been very helpful. I'll see about having your sentences reduced, potentially.
They make a persuasion check.
Sure, why not?
Yeah.
No, just normal roll. 29.
29. There is almost a hesitancy. think of it very much as a genie who has been promised this before by the last person who took over. But they seem to sense your connection to the elementals, and hold your words with a little more and a higher regard, as it were. You gather that they are quite thankful for that and will be cooperative in the future.
Excellent. I'll thank them for their time, and then if nobody's with me, I'll probably use the ring of message. I don't know how far that can go.
It would
To
work
let
with
everybody
the ship
else-
for sure.
I'll let everybody else know that the elementals are very helpful. That something up in the captain's quarters draws power from them, likely the thing we've been trying to figure out what it does, maybe. And that the stowaway potentially is downstairs, but they've seen it moving around today, or heard it anyway.
What's those? What do you do with stowaways? Looking at Ark and Pandora.
She's gonna do that motion across, the one finger across the neck.
Cobra like
Only if
nods,
they can't swim.
nods knowingly, takes his scythe out. Guess we better go looks.
Yeah, keel-hauling people isn't nearly as fun when you're in the air. It's much more fun on, the ocean.
Listen, man. Usually with voyages, rations are pretty calculated. So if there's extra mouths, people starve.
Oh,
Very
job
true.
of necessity. I understand.
You all called me
It's fun.
evil for
Necessity
looking
and
at the
fun.
book, and you're gonna kill some poor stowaway who was just trying to survive.
Nah,
Literally
y'all
pirates.
know I'm a pirate through and through. This is not a surprise to y'all.
Just because we saved the world doesn't mean we're good guys.
First one to throw it over the edge gets 20 gold. Colbrand's gonna start running down there to go look for. He wants to keep his eye. Yeah, it could be anywhere on the ship though. Colbrand wants to help search the ship for anything that's alive that's not us.
I think given the specification that they heard it in the lower decks, that definitely narrows your range of possibility. I will lower the DC. Two people can make a. We'll do it one of two ways. One person can make a perception check, or two people can make an investigation check.
Give me that perception, baby.
Yeah.
Good luck.
We all follow
Plus
Pandora,
37.
so the stowaway.
I was gonna say, I think I've still got lucky. Yeah, I've still got all three of my lucky points, dude. So let's throw that plus 12 in there. A 22.
Ooh, that's remarkably low for you.
Yeah, surprisingly.
Let me see. It's funny, you rolled a 2, but you have a minimum of 10, so let me see. A 22. As you are searching the lower areas, you see the dry storage, you see the food stores that have gone missing, you see crumbs that sort of litter the space. This has definitely been the most lived in space on this ship these past few weeks. And I think before too long, you realize that all of these barrels are sealed at the top. And you recall once in your sailing days as captain of the Nine Lives that occasionally it would be the seal would be broken at the bottom to allow it to be used as a cover of sorts.
Right.
As you do this, you shift a couple of the barrels. The salted meat doesn't budge, very, very heavy. The pickled vegetables does not budge, very heavy. The rum tips over very easily and reveals a elven man with short brown hair, a thin face, and a rather startled expression, who I will now show to you.
Gonna pounce him.
Oh, I was hoping it was that lizard that stole from us once. That lizard folk that stole from
I
us
think
once.
y'all murdered him. I
Someone
think
killed
we
the shit
can.
out of him.
I think we narrated that in the epilogue. Y'all hunted him down and slaughtered him.
Oh, I may have said that. It's true.
Now you see an elven man wearing the robes of the cult of the dragon, and he scrambles away from your claws and blade, and goes, please don't kill me. I'm sorry. Please, I'll do whatever you want.
You already drank all the rum. Like, damn. Like, that's a death, like, offense.
Hold it back, Wyrms.
He'll say, you try being trapped in a cabin with an ancient red dragon and see how much you drink.
Oh, yeah, I guess cloth technically isn't. Yeah. Okay.
The ancient red dragon.
Well, I was thinking, like, he's your friend. No, if he doesn't really like Tiamat, not
Yeah,
his friend.
Well,
and you.
I mean, that's his fault. Like, you picked the losing side, buddy.
Because look, I didn't even want to come here. Look, listen, I was below deck when Cloth took the ship. I've been out here for a fortnight more. Listen, I was loyal to the cult of the dragon, but only because I thought that dragons were the apex and we should revere them. Listen, I'm angry with them for even sending us on a suicide mission. Even the captain knew that we'd have no chance. Listen, I'm willing to cooperate with whatever you need if you just spare me.
Do I believe him?
Alright, but you getting tied up. You gonna check his pockets, gonna frisk him.
Yeah. You do find a couple of mundane objects on him. You do find that he seems to be a type of caster, not very proficient, as he has a couple of wands on him. One is a wand of lightning bolt, and the other seems to be a wand of dispel magic. But you may add both of those to the inventory if you so wish to confiscate them.
Yeah, he don't got nothing. We ain't letting him have anything.
What was the other one? The not dispel magic one? Thunderbolt?
Wand of lightning bolts.
Does Goldburn believe him?
You can roll an insight check for sure.
I will try.
Oh, 26.
But also, like, just for shits and giggles, to woe whatever he rolls.
I will be kind and tell you to save that because he rolled a natural 1.
Oh, wow.
Damn.
I'll even drop that in chat just so you can see it. You gather he is very much telling the truth. He is rather thin, even by elven standards. The sealed crates had not been busted into, but much of the other food has been consumed here. It seems like he wasn't sure how long he was going to have to live in this kind of conditions, and he was trying to ration everything out the best he could. And he does seem to have a genuine resentment against the cult of the dragon. And as he was a member, he could likely provide you with quite a bit of information, provided you ask the right questions.
Assuming Barb successfully took his weapons. Of course, if it makes you feel any
He does
better.
He is surrounded by 5 very powerful adventurers, all of whom are wearing worm speaker masks that he seems very surprised to see.
Makes you feel any better.
He does not resist.
We're not the here's anymore. We've sailed out of the veil.
You hear him, like, just almost like the relief wash over him as he collapses against the wall and just like, I was going to die in that God's forsaken place. So, where are we? Where are you taking me?
You still might if you don't cooperate. Do you know how the stone works in the captain's quarters?
Yes, more or less. I can. Which one?
Oh, the big one.
You can take him up there if you should choose.
Yeah. I mean, Goldburn will glance at Ark and Pandora. He don't want to just take their prisoner and march him around. From his perspective, he's a POW until Ark says otherwise.
Nah. Accurate though.
Yeah, that's a good instinct.
Yeah, if you take him up to the captain's quarters, he does identify the stone that is embedded into the desk as a sending stone. He says that this relays messages to the other 4 ships, which he does show the lights that are lit up on the map, each of which represents a ship of a different color, as it were. He says that the Cult of the Dragon has 5 of these ships, and that their crews are responsible for completing the cult's will across the globe. He will say that the globe-like crystal that is in the center that aims the map is the Gatestone itself, and says that while he's never had to use it directly, the captain has occasionally channeled magic through it to teleport the ship. He will say that this must be done while the ship is in motion and moving at a decent speed, because it takes quite a bit of energy to open a portal that large, and it's only open for an instant. Essentially, he'll show you that on the front and the rear of the ships, there's two crystals. When activated, the front crystal will open the portal, the ship will fly through it, and the rear one will close it. And for that brief instant, the ship is in free fall. If anything should interrupt that process, the ship would be dead in the air, as it were. I think, let me think of other relevant things based on what you've talked to him about. He will tell you the captain has a hidden lockbox, which you've already discovered. And I think that will be it for the time being.
And you use it to take us to the mark on the map?
He will say, I've never used it myself. I was a little low on the totem pole, as it were. Mostly stuck down in the cannon room. But if any of you were particularly adept with magic, I imagine if you tried to connect to it, you might be able to figure it out.
Why is it always me? I'll look at him for a second and I'll say,
I feel like Davos says that in unison with you. Like, it's just self-important.
You told us who the stone speaks to. What are these icons on the globe that appear?
You'll say, well, these are the other four ships. The white wing, the black wing, the green wing, and the blue wing. Each of them have their own crews. I'm not sure what their current business is, but as of 3 weeks ago, we were giving some dragons a preemptive notice to arrive at the Well of Dragons before we sent out the call of the Drakhorn. We knew that once we did, it would cause quite a bit of attention. We wanted to try to have a sizable force amassed beforehand. We, unfortunately, were tasked with getting Clout to join us. We were hoping to have a worm speaker join us, but Enmity did not seem interested in leaving the hills. At least not as of that time.
No clue why.
So what you're saying is if anyone else activates their globe, they could now potentially see that this ship is in motion for the first time in 3 weeks.
Very well could be. I don't know, with 2 weeks of inactivity, they may believe that all of us are dead, and that the ship might be in motion because Clout is relocating it. The ship does not, the icon shows location. It does not necessarily mean that it is up and running, as it were.
Is there a way to turn it off?
He cocks his head and goes, not that I'm aware of. I believe that the sending stone and the gate stone are connected in a way. If you're particularly talented, you might be able to break the stone, the sending stone, and still have a functioning gate stone, but that is beyond my talents.
Entirely? Could we remove it entirely? Sorry.
Remove it? It is a magical artifact, but the wood around it isn't. I assume you can, but wherever you leave the stone, it might just show that location.
I vote we use it for what we need and then drop it in the Antioch Desert.
The only other thought that I have is I would wonder if we separate the sending stone from the globe, that would also remove our ability to see them. I don't know if that's useful or not.
It cuts both ways, you know.
It's useful to avoid them, but
we know two of them at the Well of Dragons, and I'm sort of suspicious that two at the Well of Dragons may not be moving soon. You know, shit's about to go down there. Lots of stuff going that way.
If you say this out loud, I'll go, oh yes, quite. I mean, I've heard the call of the Draghorn even all the way up here. No doubt wyverns and dragons have been gathering by the swarms. Devils and undead are likely be guarding the perimeter if Enmity and Malek come through with their end of the bargain. But I imagine Darkhold's forces were providing southern cover, if all is still going according to plan. And of course, there's the Lizard Men and the Yuan-Ti, and he goes through a very long list. He seems to be rather knowledgeable about their defensive plans.
Who were you as part of well, did he say earlier? Like, how would he know so much?
He said he was a cannoneer, so he's not exactly a crewman or anything, but you imagine there have been briefings of the sort of, like, here's our tactical plan. Yeah.
Okay, first things first. You have seen it be used. You're gonna talk me through this. And I'm going to try and move this ship. After that, and I'll look at Ark and say, you can pull whatever you want out of him strategically for defenses or otherwise. What happens to him after that, I'll leave to a vote.
Goran waggles his side suggestively.
I think perhaps at the intimidation of this, roll an intimidation check for me, Josh. I will allow Goldbrand's Scythe Waggle as advantage. As a help action.
Alright, there's one.
17's pretty solid.
There's 2.
20, there you go, attaboy. He says, I will be of the best assistance possible. Yes, in fact, since you are wanting to remain on the down low, as it were, perhaps before you teleport, it would be a good idea to try to remove the sending stone or disenchant it or something. If you teleport and then do it, they're going to see you jump, and that will likely cause a good bit of attention.
Okay.
If he says that out loud, Gobran will go ahead and burn a Dispel Magic on it just to see what happens.
Yeah, as you cast the Dispel Magic, the stone grows dim. You gather it is temporarily disenchanted, but not permanently. You could attempt to break it in this disenchanted state. You could try to remove it. You could even put it in a bag of holding, for example, to take it off the map, quote unquote.
I like that idea, because we could always pop it back in when we need it later.
Can Goblin try to pry it out with his sickle, I guess? Might be the best tool for
Yeah, absolutely.
prying.
It does not take you long to... In fact, if you take Argolas's sickle, you place the tip to the wood, and before you even begin to carve, the wood almost yields softly, as if butter. It is very forgiving for the sickle, and you very easily draw out the sending stone. And if you plop it into your bag of holding, you watch on the map as the red blinking light disappears. The other 4 lights seem to remain.
So, but we chuck that fucker in the desert later.
That's the vibe.
Good suggestion. You've earned yourself a bit of favor. Okay. How do we use this thing?
Yes. Well, I've never had to do it myself, but typically the captain would stand before it. He would press the stone, focus on the point on the map he wished to go to, and then provide it with just a little bit of juice, I suppose. I'm not much of a caster myself, unfortunately. I never did well in school, as it were, but I suppose if you just try to pump any type of magic into it, it might work.
Say it like that.
Okay. I'll, I guess, point it in the direction I hope that I want it to go and try to pump some magic into it. See what happens.
You
Is that what they're calling it these days?
You wants 1 second, please. You wants.
Okay.
Goldbrand fumbles to get the mirror out. Who can we call? Or we can send a message. Is anybody with the wyvern? Can we let water? Safine is there. Goldbrand takes.
Safine was there. Based on her message earlier, her and the other worm speakers are sort of fanning out to try to figure out where the fuck the obsidian dragon is.
I don't want to
She
get
might
shot
still
down
be
because
close by, but
I don't want to get shot down
Tabitha
because
should
we
still
just-
be there, though, right? We left them there?
Is Tabitha on the mirror? Can you message Tabitha or sending Tabitha? I just don't want to
Oh,
get
is
shot
it-
down because we
I
popped
didn't
up
know how
a
to
water
hear
leak.
Barbara would know she has a connection to Avalon through her earring, and
Oh, yeah.
Avalon was in
Hmm.
Waterdeep when y'all left. She might still be available.
Pandora, can you warn them that we're Cummings on a Cult of the Dragon?
We're Cummings.
Yeah, and not.
Girlfriend in bed. I'm Cummings.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Tell them not to
Not
shoot
that-
down the
not-
Cult
not
of
that
the
kind of
Dragon
pumping.
ships. Oh no. So it begins. We're not even halfway there. Can you tell them
Oh
not to
my
shoot us
God.
down, please, Pandora's?
Yeah. Like, hey, ho, what's up? You know how sisters talk.
Yeah.
Like twin degenerate sisters would talk to each other. She'd keep it short and sweet. We're coming in hot on an enemy airship. Don't shoot.
Oh, he said it again. Okay.
I
So
heard
it's short
coming in
and
hot,
sweet,
enemy
coming in
airship,
hot.
shoot.
I heard short and sweet, coming in hot. I was like, oh boy.
Yeah, Avalon
Good job.
hears the message,
I like it.
and you get back. All right, I'm at the Flag and Dragon with Tabitha and some of the others now. I'll let them know. And you think might be best to give it a minute. I'll give it like 10 minutes, and you imagine that Tabitha would have had a chance to alert whoever she needed to alert within that time, and think it probably safe at that point.
We think.
This better
Okay.
be Doctor Strange, or no? Yeah? Marvel's Avengers? We'll get to when we get to the reference, we'll get there.
No, I'm gonna different references. Look around the ship. Hold on to your butts.
Huh?
Back,
We're gonna need a bigger ship.
Oh my god.
Back to the Future? Question mark.
Jurassic Park.
What?
Jaws.
No.
We're all over the place. It's fine.
Listen, there were several quotes. Anyway, I'm gonna try to pump into the globe and see what happens.
Oh,
Yeah. What do you
Stop.
try to pump into the globe?
I think I'm gonna start small and hope I don't blow us all up. So I'm just gonna I don't know. I don't know, summon like the equivalent of casting a firebolt or something.
You clutch into the stone. You focus on your intended destination. Give me an Arcana check.
Yum.
Yum indeed.
15.
15. As you place both hands in the globe, you feel your hands grow hot as you send a bit of fiery energy. And the ship jolts forward, but as you look out the windows, you have not teleported. It seems as if the firebolt provided a little extra thrust, but did not teleport you. With a 15, you think it's one of two things. Either A, you need something bigger, or B, that a firebolt isn't exactly what is needed. You know,
swear to
y'all have
God,
made a
this has
few
never
checks on
happened
this.
before.
Y'all have made a few checks on this. I'll say you either think it needs to be a higher level spell, or it needs to be of a different school of magic.
Okay.
Does he say this out loud? If it takes any kind of magic, I can also give it a try.
Yeah, that's true. And you know a magic that might be more helpful than me right now.
Yeah, or I just kind of want to see like if a certain level spell slot is gonna do it. Theoretically, any of us with that spell slot can just put it in it. So
Yeah.
I'm looking at my spells. I gotta find one that is transporty. I don't have any left. Interesting. So Goldbrand will cast. It doesn't matter what he casts, does it? He'll put a 5th level spell slot in it, I guess, and see what happens. Because I don't have my 7th. I'll use my 6th, just cause. I guess it does
What
matter what
spell?
I pick, huh? Yeah, it does matter what I pick. I don't have anything really helpful. I will try Absorb Elements. Well, yeah,
which
I don't-
is
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't even know off the top of my head. It is Abjuration. We probably need, I don't even remember what it's called that we need. 1 second. Conjuration. I don't know what teleport is, so Devin doesn't know which one we need.
Josh knows it.
Yeah, the only The only spell that I have right now I can actually use though, because don't have it prepared, is Demiplane. So if that didn't work, I was just gonna throw a Demiplane at it, see if that would juice it up.
But what school is that? And if he can't tell me, he can't tell me. It's fine.
It's Conjuration. That's why I was letting you rule it out, because I assume that's the same school as like what teleport and like teleportation circle and stuff is. I don't know.
I have a
You've
conjuration
used
spell.
teleport before, yeah?
Yes, once. I've used teleportation circle.
You would know then that it is also a conjuration spell.
Okay.
If they're
Well,
discussing
I have the
this out loud-
slot.
Well, but if they're discussing this out loud, Goldbrand could use a conjure elemental for his 6th level spell. And I can burn that, and you can save yours. I don't know that it matters. But
We're getting a rest anyway, I think.
let's try it and see, because it's not a teleport. So let's see if it works. If it don't, we'll know. Then we gotta
Okay.
use teleport.
Goldbrand places his hands on either side of the globe, focuses on the mask, staring intently at Waterdeep. Roll an Arcana check for me, big guy.
Oop, wrong button.
Didn't.
Sorry,
Cure
that's the wrong
wounds.
spell. Yeah.
Goldbrand casts the wrong spell, but the ship gets patched up, so that's nice.
I forgot about the Arcana check. Rip. That means it wasn't high enough level.
So as this energy pulses into it, you do feel, I think you feel the warmth of the fire elementals beneath you. And as you go to tear into the plane, as it were, you all see as a massive, the stone on the helm of the ship glows a brilliant blue, and a archway of stones appears, and within it, a portal. The ship flies through, and Goldbrand, I need you to roll a percentile for me.
97.
Very good. Yeah, within a matter of seconds, you appear over the city of Waterdeep, just outside of the walls. Seeing it from a not unfamiliar angle, as y'all are not by no means strangers to aerial travel at this day and time. So you do find your way comfortably. I think through the successful completion of this, you gather that it does need to be a similar type of magic. You're not sure if the level has a prerequisite as well, but as long as it's conjuration magic, that seems to be a good start.
Once they get through, I think Goldbrand looks noticeably more tired. That's his 2 highest level spell slots are gone, so he's sort of tapped. He'll kind of slump and he'll be like, that was not as easy as I would have hoped. I imagine you will have an easier time with it once you get it figured out.
I hope so.
Davil said, yeah, can't you just like throw a manual or something at you two and he'll just, read it for us, Maybe they'll have never mind. Getting a little too meta there.
Goldbrand's making plans to replace the cultist with U2. Once the cultist is useless, he'll throw him overboard. Now U2 is the mage.
I think he even just sees you like, I see you like eyeing him or contemplating this even passively, and he's like, I know quite a bit about the defensive plans. I just want to keep reiterating that for whatever it is worth. Hopefully my life.
I'm not the one you have to convince.
He
He's
can be the
captain.
jester in my court.
It's the jester from Disenchanted. Oh no. Alright, well. We have a crew to pick ups. Ark, do you want this one to stay in the Briggs?
In the brig for now, until he's exhausted his usefulness.
You guys lock him away. He does not seem to put up any type of resistance. You guys find a bit of clear land where you have parked the wyvern before, and very quickly make your way down, and arrive in the city of Waterdeep. I'll shift our map just so we can have some visual. Oh, come on, you piece of shit.
I'll talk to Roll.
There we go.
It's doing its best. It's just not very good.
I like Roll20 better than I like D&D Beyond. Most of the time. Sometimes they're both fuzzy, but as of now, we're good. I will say the ship is not accurate because Snapmaw is not chilling in the bay right now. But yeah, you guys all find a area to park the ship. I know that most of your crew as it were at the Flag and Dragon. You quickly make your way there, and you see that Tajine and the crew are very happy to be of service. Tajine, Penelope, Vulcan, Jesse, and Harvey are all there. Harvey does look a little different. He has dyed his hair black. His feathers were black, and this just seems to be something to make him more comfortable. He's trying to get back. I'm just trying to find myself. You know, I've lost so much of my identity. Anything I can really cling to would just make it go a lot smoother. You know.
You could be dead.
I could be. That is a very good point. I'm trying to keep perspective. And if I need to soak my hair in octopus ink every 6 months, you know, who cares?
Goran wants to surreptitiously check if he has those boots of flying. Yeah, if he has those boots of flying on that they
you know, I was gonna roll for it to see if he found them. If it's above a 10, he did. Oh, he's like, you know, I was this close to finding a pair, and someone snatched them right out from under me. Some vicious old lady. She's quite a bitch. Skinny thing too, ugly. Had spinach stuck in her teeth. I think upon hearing this,
Disney will sue. Otherwise,
not too long after, Tabitha and Avalon enter in, seeming to have been running an errand, as it were, to make sure y'all didn't get attacked. With them are U2, Morningstar, as well as Gideon and Kaya. So you've got yourselves 12 or so people who are closely aligned to you all, and all seem to be willing to do whatever they can to help. I think Gideon will say, you stole an airship?
Didn't steal.
Salvaged an airship.
Kaya will go, very important distinction.
I'll elbow a little bit, say actually gifted.
Even better.
I think that Avalon will go, I know how gifts go in our line of work. Noted. Tabitha, so what's the plan? Are we, are you flying to the well now, or are you... Well, I've been trying to get a hold of Safine, but she's been kind of blowing me off, which is uncharacteristic, but I get these are trying times.
He has her hands full right now.
Biting my tongue.
Oh.
It is enough to know what is important. I mean, the rest is up to y'all. Do you know if there's still an army of undead marching? You said it was to the north of the Well of Dragons, which I thought was very far north of the continent total.
No. I will jump to the world map to give you a better perspective on that, my guy.
But if I'm understanding now correctly, they're moving north, like up towards populated towns, right? Like they're sort of...
Not really.
Okay.
So, on the far east, about halfway point, back up just a bit, the Well of Dragons is over here. You'll see the red, blue, and black... red, blue, and black worm speakers, several wyverns, several undead. So the way that this has sort of gone down is that they started being if you scroll a little higher up where you see the ruined Restman Wyvern up here, that is where Hellgate Keep is. It seems that Malek was conjuring up these undead thralls and sending them on their way, and just having them wander across the landscape. They had been clicking, as per the council conversations, they had been sort of clinging to the edge of the Anarok because it was less populated and meant that few of them would be killed en route. As the goal was not to decimate everything in its path, but rather get them all there alive. The first town that really came into conflict with them was Everaska, which was overrun and then later destroyed by a few dragons of their own right. They know that the undead all collapsed when Malek was killed, and then the undead between the Well of Dragons and Everaska had slowly started picking themselves back up and continuing their march over the following days. They gather that whatever is bringing them back is working its way northward, following that trail, essentially trying to the ones that are closest to the army or closest to the well, get them up in there so that they can provide immediate reinforcement. I think Safine suggested that somewhere between Everasca and the north of that is where you will find your intended target.
So potentially, we could pick off another worm speakers. That is between Hellgate, and the well. Assuming we can catch them while they are out and about. Assuming it is a worm speakers. Or we can just go to the well and kill everything theirs. Goldbrain goes like this.
I think Tabitha was in the meeting, and she'll say, "Well, that we know of. I mean, there's half a dozen dragons there, and not to mention the 3 worm speakers. And if not to damage your pride, but I think you've faced off against each of them and not exactly come out successfully.
We're 2 for 3.
Y'all have encountered Enmity, Erebus, and Dimitri and have not beaten any of those 3. You have beaten 2 for 5.
I count Dimitri as a win. He ran like a turd.
He wasn't trying to kill. He
won
was
that
just
fight.
trying to. You kept the mask. I don't know if you won.
That was winning that fight.
Yeah.
I think. Sorry, go ahead.
I mean, I don't. If we think all the worm speakers are still at the well, I don't really like. We could try to go kill whatever's raising the dead, but if it's not a worm speaker, I'm not sure it's worth our time. We just give
My
them
only
time
thought
to do
around that-
summoning. My fear from going to do this is that it's a distraction. That it's sent out explicitly to keep us from going to the well for X amount of more days.
That's possible. My other thought was I don't know what she requires as far as a sacrifice is concerned. And so if summoning an army of undead counts towards the total sacrifice she needs to be summoned.
I doubt it. I think it's just another unit. It's gonna be their what's the war term? It's gonna be
Their fodder.
yeah, there was the term for it in
Not plebs. Levies.
Levies. It's gonna be their levies.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think Tabitha, as a not a priestess per se, but being very tied to the undead, says typically undead wouldn't be useful as sacrifices. But I think the process that they're requiring is the souls to move on from the sacrifices and into the afterlife, which will thin the veil, making it easier for her to get pulled across. As for it being useful, right now we're going to have a hard time getting there if we have to fight through everything that's there plus an army of undead. If we can destroy whatever necromantic force is bringing them back, that would again level their army and put them several hundred troops down. I'm not going to tell you how to spend your time, but I think it's worth looking into.
God, slipping back into my old ways, my mind was like, sacrificing souls to thin the veil. What if you make me the absorption for those instead?
Yuan says, I'm gonna take over all those undead.
Give me your essence.
If you can get raised dead, you could
Like
like 8
Skeksis.
double cast it, and then you could do that again the next day. I read a whole like Reddit post about someone wanting to play a necromancer, and it was talking about like how many you could raise over 3, 4, 5 days, like recasting.
I think I read this exact post like not too long ago.
It was like a debate about why people thought wizard was better when like other class. Anyway, you get what I'm saying. Food for thought, Yuan. Anyway, so you believe that stopping the army of the undead would make it easier for Goldbrand waves his hand vaguely, meaning all the people they've been talking to the last couple of days here in Waterdeep, for them to get in and to get their armies in.
He goes, yes, if there's less troops on the ground, that allows our ground troops a little more mobility. I mean, we're already facing an unknown number of enemies. We're not even sure exactly what we have, what we're up against. We're hoping to get a meeting together to discuss a more tactical approach once our scouts get back.
Have you informed them that cloth should not be an issue?
Her eyebrows shoot up and goes, "I will gladly do that. That is most
back.
fortunate.
You couldn't tell.
Even
You
if
came back alive.
well, y'all came back with the ship. I thought y'all might have got distracted. You know, sometimes y'all see something shiny and just snatch it and run.
Grumble, grumble, grumble. That's a slight against me. I won't hear it.
Blasphemy, says Pandora. No, I'll let them know. It sounds to me like it might be in the best interest to track down whatever this is doing this. That's enough for Goldbrand. Makes it easier for foot troops to get in. Okay.
Yeah.
Word.
I think Tajin might also offer up. I am uncertain exactly with how they are positioning their troops, but it would make sense if they were organized on fronts. If the undead, for example, make up a large front on one side, it may provide a weakened spot where either they will need to thin their troops to cover that area, or it'll be an exposed flank that we can try to pierce through. I think it would be most beneficial. If you have a ship, as I understand it, we could get that ready for you. Fresh stores, fresh supplies, try to make sure everything's up and running to the best of its ability.
A lot of rum.
Yeah, Goldbrand will glance at Ark, since Ark needs to make that call. His crew, his ship.
Captain?
Sorry, I was muted. Can you repeat that one more time? Sorry.
Tajin's just like, if you'll have a ship, we being the Wyvern crew, could set to getting everything prepared, making sure we have stores to last us, making sure the quarters are inhabitable, etc.
Well, by all means, all hands on deck. I'm sure you'll find that this ship is a little more suited for our needs than the Wyvern was. The Silver Lining.
Tajin will smile a bit, optimistic, as while it was your ship at the time, has been his home for decades, and seeing the Wyvern destroyed was quite a blow. It is nice to have a new ride, new whip. Tajin, Penelope, Vulcan, Jesse, all of those very quickly scramble up and out. I think that Harvey hangs back a little bit. I think Avalon would kind of poke him about it. Like, aren't you gonna go too? And he'll say, well, I don't know. I mean, the whole reason I was there was to be the eyes in the sky, as it were. And now that I'm kind of grounded, I don't know if I could be of much help. And he seems unsure of his place.
Like, oh, leave him alone, Avalon. He's already died once. He's served his time.
So retired.
I think Morningstar might overhear some of this and be like, hey, well, listen, there's just because you can't fly doesn't mean that, you don't know your way around a ship. Why don't you at least check it out? And Morningstar and Harvey leave, following the rest of the crew. I think Tabitha and you two kind of look at you on. Are you wanting us to stay put or come along, or how can we serve you?
I'll look at them and I'll say, well, this one, handsome devil, he comes with me. Honestly, I'm not your boss. I never have been, so if you want to come, I'm not going to stop you. If you want to stay here because you feel it's safer, I support and understand that decision.
I think she'll go, I won't lie that there are some things that I could do within the city, but at the same time, and she's having a hard time finding how to say it. and I think that Avalon might contribute. From what she tells me, there's no more medic on the ship, so it might be useful to have somebody around with that particular tool set. She's of course referring to the fact that the previous two medics, Akira and Kava, are sort of dead in the ground or on a ridge somewhere.
Super dead.
Super dead. Yeah, one of them at least super dead. Tabitha is willing to go. She'll even add in. I did do a little bit of shopping, and she'll gesture over to Yuan, U2, excuse me, who you see. He shows off a cloak that you all recognize as a cloak of protection, and he even. As he swirls it, he grabs it at his waist and pulls out a wand.
Right, I was
and
looking
points
at
it
him.
you.
Like, cool.
And you see that he looks a little goofy, and she's like, "He's got the spunk. He just he's got new toys."
Oh, there. It's like giving a 4-year-old a Lego set. He doesn't know what to do with it without instructions. It's fine. Come along.
What
You have
is
a lot
this
to learn.
Lego you speak of?
Yeah.
Do we want to?
Edward's
polish
never
them?
let go of anything in her life.
Well, you
Does
see, I
anyone
visited
give
another
him those
plane.
wands? Oh, but
What we're
if you
talking
want to
about?
give him those wands that we found, I just like picturing you two with like 3 holsters and 3 wands.
So,
Eberron, wand slinger, you
Wand
two.
Slinger.
Yeah.
He and Randy are going to go fight off together in the distant universe. I am going to look up real quick.
I think
The
the
thing
two
about-
that we picked up both require attunement.
Yeah. As a simulacrum, he cannot attune to wands. However, the wand of magic missile does not require attunement, so that's his little workaround for that. With the wand of dispel magic, also requires attunement. Yeah.
That's what I thought.
He goes. I think you two will say, "Well, that's quite generous of you. I believe that I am working with my own little Red Ryder BB gun here. I've got to get my bases started." And I think to sort of prove a point, he'll like point it across the bar, and 3 bursts of light fly out and like shatter a couple of glasses. There's some angry shouts from the barkeeps. You see this dragonoid, dragonborn barkeep start cursing at him in Draconic, which he understands, I guess. And he'll apologize awkwardly.
I chuckled to myself with my feet on the table. I'm like, you'll shoot your eye out, kid.
Yeah. I think you're also a little surprised to see that Gideon and Kaya have not made a direct move to join the ship. It's sort of something that they seem to be dancing around, as it were. But other than that, you guys have a crew, an ample crew to run 24/7. And I think, unless y'all have anything else you need to do in the City of Waterdeep, you're good to take your rest and patch yourselves up.
Is Mr. Boots coming on the ship?
Mr. Boots is still within the city. Avalon will tell you, yeah, he's doing some gambling down by the dock district, but I'm sure if you wanted him, he'd be more than happy to come along.
Lazy, good for nothing, son of a grumble, grumble.
She
Gotta go
goes,
recruit him.
She goes, please, no, he'll be of better use for you. And unfortunately, we're looking at our terrain. There's not exactly a lot of opportunities for ships to be involved, so I'm kind of trying to figure out the best of what these skulkers can do. That said, your purple friend said that she had something to discuss with me, but yeah, exactly. But she wasn't exactly talkative, and she left in kind of a hurry. I don't know if we're still on for drinks or not.
I mean, that's normal. That. Don't worry about it.
She nods her head and gives you a hug and says, I better stay here and try to keep the skulkers working. hopefully we can get aboard a couple of extra airships and provide some cover. If nothing else, then blast a few Wavens out of the sky.
Yep.
You will be happy to know that we've already had a few people cash in on our bounty. We've distributed about 1,500 gold thus far for the a few Wavens that have been slain, as well as one young dragon. It's
Heck yeah.
not much, but it's a start.
Anything's better than nothing.
Was it Devin?
I said a young dragon. Wow, that may be more Devin than Goldbrand. But...
No, yeah, for like NPC, yeah. No, yeah, that's an achievement.
Shit. Some poor level, some poor party just became level 3 adventurers somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. Don't worry, when I TPK y'all, that'll be where y'all pick up. Speaking of, we are going to go ahead and jump into our break. When we return, you will all be long rested, and we will begin our trek to the undead monstrosities that await you in the darkness.
Just a fun little heads up, when we get back, I'm going to ask you if Osvius is still alive.
Oh, yes. But we'll talk more about that in a minute. Okay. With that, we'll catch you soon. And we are back. We returned to the ship the next day, the aforementioned crew members having been gathered. Barbara, it does not take you long at all to find Mr. Boots gambling in the dock district on the south side of Waterdeep, in one of the seedier little taverns there. Um, and he is more than happy to come along. He's happy to see you. He's almost looks a little guilty, like he was caught doing something he shouldn't.
Oh yeah,
Not
she
really.
would have like pulled him up by the scruff of his neck since he's significantly smaller than her, and just like I think about like in the way that like a Spanish mom like yanks up her kids and starts muttering like things really fast, like whatever Tabaxi language, just
Yeah.
muttering like all sorts of like yeah.
You watch him like look to the table and goes, "I fooled," and then he gets dragged out of the bar. He'll pretend like he's not into it. No, I would be more than happy to be a part of your crew. I've been on land far too long, and frankly, beneath land for even longer. It would be good to give this a whirl. I've not been on many skyships. He happily follows you along. Y'all all, after your rest, make your way to the ship, and you find that the crew's been rather busy. The once dusty interior now feels much cleaner and warmer. Fresh food stores have been brought in. The kitchen has been thoroughly cleaned to be prepared for accommodating everyone. You find that the crew has even been put to work oiling the thrusters and maintaining some of the machinery that is a little unfamiliar to them, but not so foreign as they can't make a good guess at how to maintain it. I think even Jesse, the dwarven gunner, will relay that he has a decent bit of experience in this type of metallurgy and is happy to make sure everything is up and running as it should.
You
I
can't entirely
think,
distract me. Firstly, hit that long rest button if y'all haven't, because I almost forgot. I was
Indeed.
about to start picking spells, which is why I was joking about you distracting me. Is Osvius still alive? Does Gobrand know?
Oh, yes,
Before we get
Obvious
too-
is alive.
Too much further?
You know that he had been spending a good deal of time in Candlekeep, as it were. He has not formally served as a spy for you guys in some time, as there hasn't been a great need for him to, and has instead been trying to pick up a bit of Arcana at Candlekeep, not college, I guess, but at the Library of Candlekeep. Is there something in particular you wanted to reach out to him for?
What I think Gobrand would do from Gobrand's perspective is he would call Daphne on the mirror. Or, well, I guess he would call Nightstone on the mirror. He would request Daphne. He wouldn't have to do all of this, but the shorter version would be he would request Daphne, wait for her call back, quote unquote, and then he would ask her to send, if she could, send him to the Well of Dragons to scout for them so that they can get some first-hand information of how to arrange their armies.
Very nice. Daphne is quite happy to hear this, and she goes, "That is an excellent idea, Lord Goldbrand. Yes, Osvius has a sending stone that we have the mated payout to here. We'll be happy to inform him of this. I am unsure of his capabilities now. It has been quite some time, but if his studies have gone well, he may be able to be there post-haste." And you know what? In fact, I think not long after,
I'm sorry, last thing for the end of the conversation. Anything he finds that you get, please send to Sidiri. And, of course, tell him to report to us.
I think it's not too much later before you get a ascending spell from Osvius. And he will tell you that, Lord Goldbrand, as always, I'm at your service. I am in talks now. I will be in Waterdeep within the hour. And it seems like he is paying a fee to be teleported from Candlekeep to Waterdeep, as they are both allied cities with circles. And he is in the city if you would like to bring him along. Actually, I'll say before that, he will meet up with you all and say, I'm afraid, while I have learned much in my studies, I'm not quite so good at the long-distance teleportation yet. If you're going to be in the area, you could always drop me off and give me a head start.
I think that works well for us. That is the best we're going to get. Goldbrand
Yeah.
briefly wondered about teleporting him there using one of our allies or ourselves, but that's a little dangerous for him. So, and even if he just gets there 3 days ahead of time, when we get there, the information is important, not necessarily getting him there immediately. I'm glad to have you along.
No, yeah. He says, "Oh, I'm happy to be a part of it. It has been quite some time since I've stretched my legs. I've grown a little too comfortable. But I've picked up a trick or 12.
I don't remember how much we utilized him after y'all joined. Long story short, he was like our spy, almost like our spy, not our spy master for a little while. Like
Yeah, he's a
was our dude.
tiefling with actually I'll give you some. I'm dropping some art and stuff on his token. Let me get this pulled up. Yeah, he's a blue-skinned tiefling who had the innate ability to go invisible. And when the Lords of Nightstone were doing a lot of subtle fudge, as young Gideon called it, he was pretty key in executing a good bit of that. As y'all were in peacetime, quote unquote, for quite some time, he had not been needed and had been studying at Candlekeep. He has gone up a few levels. He's probably not on par with a few of several of your crew members, like, Tabitha or Mr. Boots, who are more active adventurers, but he's picked up a few tricks. In fact, I think you will ask before y'all depart, I'm a little surprised to see that Gideon is not with you. Is he not tagging along?
I think you would have to take that up with him if you wanted to, Nose. And I
cocked his head a little.
I don't think Devin delivered that correctly. Goldbrand seems genuinely not to care. Genuinely believes it's none of his business.
I get that. I think I was gonna say, the old ball and chain got him tied down, huh? What if him and Gaia settled up in some cottage in the woods?
Perhaps they are going to. She had to die first for them to realize the wisdom of it.
He gives a good look and goes, well, no, that will certainly put things into perspective, won't it? Well, obviously, you have brought her back, I assume, and they will be, I'm sure, very happy to kiss her.
I encourage you to go talk to him, Stos. At the very least, since you haven't seen each other for a time.
He says, it does not seem as if y'all are quite ready for departure right away. I'll pop in for a moment. I'll be back soon. He rushes off. And let me roll something real quick. Sometime later, we'll say 20, 30 minutes or so, you're surprised to see on board Kaya, which, by the way, I will happily drop some art for real quick now that she's in human form. This picture's a little blurry. It was hard to find halfling images that fit the halfling images that fit the description that I had previously given. And I did not have time to generate such things. But she, I think you might catch her eye at some point. And she'll look at you and she goes, I don't suppose you're going to try to kick me off too, are you?
It's none of my business where you choose to go.
Damn right. And she seems a little agitated. Before too long, Gideon and Osvius both return. Gideon going to Kaya and trying to talk to her in hushed tones, but not doing a very good job, especially on a crowded ship. And the general gist that seems to be is that he does not want her to go. She has already died and been brought back, and he doesn't want her to put herself in further risk. But she is more than happy to tell him that she may be 3 feet tall, but she's still a goddamn grown woman. She could do whatever the fuck she wants. And it's a point of contention between them. I think even I'm going to roll for this, unless anyone wants to try to persuade one of them to do one thing or the other. But just for the sake of this,
I want to see him fight.
Pandora and Mr. Booth would be over there with you, like, starting to place bets.
But, Mr. Woods, I've got 10 gold on the feisty one.
Goldbrand can try to talk to Gideon, but I do. Maybe part of me thinks Goldbrand wouldn't think it's any of his business, but he doesn't want them to fight the whole time either, because we have shit to do.
Give him some fatherly advice.
I mean,
whatever that might be.
It's gonna amount to cut your shit.
Goldbrand.
Yeah, right? Tell me about it. Hardy. No. You know, he'd ask, like, Gideon's, can I speak with you for a minute?
He'll nod and,
Ooh,
seems...
you're in trouble.
He seems to need the space, honestly. Like, being in the situation with her directly is not helping him maintain his cool, as it were. I mean, he's not blowing up on her or anything, but he's obviously concerned for her.
Can you fly?
You ask Gideon? Fuck, I don't know, Devin.
If he's a kind of level to cast fly, like, I think
he's a warlock, so he doesn't have a whole lot of spells. I just typed in Gideon 5e. What the fuck am I doing? God damn it.
I can't make it. That's the thing. Are we still on the ground? If we're still on the ground,
he's like, if you ask that, he goes, I'd rather float, and he wanders to a nearby bar to grab a drink.
Okay. Throw on the ground while they're walking. Goldbrand will open with, if we're all going to go on these missions, on these journeys, we can't be fighting along the ways.
That's why I'd rather us stay here, frankly. Or at least her.
You do not want to go?
No, of course I want to go, but I don't want her to put herself at risk. I mean, she has lost herself, for lack of a better word, and I know she's still Kaya, but I can't help but feel responsible that I didn't stop her dying the first time. And what if next time we're not so lucky? What if next time there's nothing to bring back? I don't know.
It is okay to feel the way that she feels, but you have to understand that you're, one, not going to win that fight, and twos, you can't take that decision away from hers. If you take away her choice, her option to choose, you take away who she is, which is only going to drive you two apart and make the rest of us miserable the whole times. If she is choosing
Damn,
to go...
Goldbrand feminist icon.
Goldbrand married for a very long time.
If she's going just because you're going, all you have to do is stays, and your problem is solved. If she's going because she wants to go, you kind of have to respect that. Or I'm going to kick you off. He almost says, he says arc ship.
He'll say, no, she very much wants to go.
I'd say that Goldbrand has been announced quartermaster, so he can make those calls.
I did get to throw a guy in a brig earlier. Tracks.
Gideon nods and he seems reluctant, but I know that you're right, and I don't want to control her. I mean, I want her to do what she wants to do. I just want her to be safe, and what she wants to do and being safe do not overlap in this instance.
Well, then it sounds like it's fortunate you have the ability to go with her to keep her safe as often as possible. If she's going anyways, you might as well go with hers.
He nods his head and he goes, you know, it's funny. I always thought that I always thought that Mom was the... When we were having this argument, I wanted to talk to Hydia. And I feel kind of stupid for not talking to the next best thing. I appreciate your guidance, Storekeeper. As always.
It's about time I gave some out. You know, after 70, or well, he may not know years. After too many seasons.
like 7 of these.
Yeah. Oh.
Starts counting on his fingers and then just gives up.
Yeah. It's about
gives up after 5.
I was gone for a while and was not always able to give out this sort of advice. It is important I attempt to impart it to you, so that you can give it out again in time.
He nods his head and goes, you know, it's always easier to give advice than it is to take it. And I think that's why it's been easier for me to be a Starkeeper and help guide people, rather than do what others tell me to do. And even as this is coming out of my mouth, I realize the hypocrisy of me trying to tell Kaya what to do and not listening to what she wants me to do. No, you're right. If she wants to go, she can. And if she goes, then I go.
And if she dies, she dies.
That doesn't help, Pandora. I didn't invite you.
Pandora, who was in the bar before Gideon and Goldbrand got there.
He throws his garnish at you.
Pandora's
Gideon...
like 10 rums deep.
Rums. Oh my.
Yeah, but like after they went to, after Gideon and Goldbrand walk off, Pandora and Mr. Boots are like, "You want to check that out?" Go eavesdropping. Yeah, Gideon. Gideon does relent and agrees to tag along, and when he gets back to the ship, he dips away and talks to Kaya for a moment, in their usual spot of the crow's nest. And they do seem to make amends, as it were. You guys are getting ready to go, and I think you just happen to catch in passing one of you. Morningstar and Harvey are talking, and Harvey, being the louder and less discreet of the two, goes, "Oh, come on, my soul for wings. Morningstar, I wasn't born yesterday." And he starts to walk away, but he was, in fact, born yesterday, reincarnated. But even as he goes, he sort of hesitates, like, "Huh, it's not a bad deal. We'll see if anything comes of that. I'm going to roll for that later." Fantastic.
Like, real physical wings, it might be worth. Magical wings wouldn't be the same. He wants the real deal.
Just turn him back into a bird.
Yeah, it's a possibility. Could get his old body back.
Yuan might could.
No, Morningstar with Wish could. It would just
I
cost
cast
Harvey
polymorph.
something.
Well, you might can get. There's a permanent version.
If you can
but
get
I think
true
it's
polymorph.
Yeah, you might can get the
Yeah.
permanent version.
I don't know if that's an 8th, a 9th, or a 7th,
think it's
but
an
it's up
9th.
there.
I just don't know what classes it is.
I don't think I can
Wizards
do
can do
that.
it.
It has to stick for a certain amount of time. Like they have to stay polymorph for X amount of time. But I mean, we're basically demigods at this point. So a lot of stuff's on the table.
Famous last words. As you all board up on the ship, just a quick thing about some positions here. These 3 gentlemen, Morningstar, Jesse, and Mr. Boots, are acting as your cannoneers. They're going to be below deck for much of the journey. You have Kaya, as well as Vulcan.
Do we need to be on the ship, Matt?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were. I moved myself, but didn't drag y'all. My apologies. Excusez-moi. Yeah. These 3 gentlemen down here, Morningstar, Jesse, and Mr. Boots, are going to be your cannoneers. You have Vulcan as well as Kaya in your crow's nest. Tabitha will be acting as the ship's medic. U2 is acting as the ship's jester, for lack of a better role. You also have Sonder,
I thought that was the dragon
captive.
cultist.
Yes, that is this one here. Yeah, he is locked up in the brig, but for the purposes of this, I only have 1 layer for this map. So He's there. And then you also have Gideon and Harvey manning the rigging. Everyone is falling into position quite nicely. Tajin and Penelope are available as needed, as Arcanist Penelope will manage the engines and the elementals. And Osvius is just along for the ride for now. Anything else in the city of Waterdeep before you skedaddle?
Gotta go find that Gale fella and chop off his hands.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is probably our last chance to buy anything we may want to buy. Chop off his hands. There's a reference I missed there somewhere. Did
Talking
not
about
play
Baldur's
enough.
Gate.
Yeah, I did not play far enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fuck out an eyeball. Give it to Gola.
So, the only thing we might want to do, this is a pretty big might, is just, what's the term? Blow all our cash?
Bribe the DM.
Nah, I mean, where's our...
Just Venmo you pizza money.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if we want to buy something, we might can buy something big with what we have left. I don't really know.
You
I'll have
got
to
a
go
chunk
look
left.
real
If
fast.
there's something you're wanting, you certainly could. But
I don't...
Oh. Hang on.
I mean, like, I would go for something like a staff of healing if it requires attunement. That's harder.
it does. Funnily enough, Tabitha has a staff of healing. Requires attunement by a bard, druid, or a cleric. And it gives you access to some basic healing spells, lesser restoration, cure wounds, a couple things like that.
Hey, fill the ring.
Because I thought the staff itself could do. The ring has a Bergen
Oh,
wounds in
it has Bergens already in
I
it,
thought
yeah.
the staff could do like some of the. It was like the same list of spells, and it could do a pretty good list. It had, like,
I mean,
9
it has
charges?
10 charges. Cure wounds, lesser restoration, and mass cure wounds are the 3 spells in it.
How many charges mass cure wounds?
6. Or excuse me, 5 for mass cure wounds.
So it's got 2.
So she could do
per
it
day.
twice a day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well. The only other
Granted,
thing,
if she blows all of her charges, there's a chance it could be destroyed. But
the only other thing I might suggest if we wanted more, like, so that would give us healing in an item for a big fight. We could also take something that would give us more crowd control in an item for a big fight. And then forgive me, I can't remember the name. I just remember that there was a rod in Spelljammer that had, like, y'all looted it off of something, and it had like a whole person in it.
oh yes, Deimos had this wand of binding, I think.
Yes.
There's a wand of binding. There's also a wand of fireballs, I think, that could be useful.
Oh,
Just
I'll
for
share
straight
it because
DPS?
now it's not
Alright.
relevant. Cloth is
It's got a bunch of 'em,
sort of
huh?
notorious. He has quite a few wands, and he has a special ability where he can use 2 of them at once. And the book strongly recommends his opening move because players are going to expect the breath weapon. They rather his opening move be a fireball and a lightning bolt cast off on the first turn simultaneously, and then follow it with fire breath. I'm like, that's brutal.
That's
Bro,
true.
if that would have happened, I would have just retired. I'd have been like, I don't know what to do.
There-
I'm done.
There was a chance. I mean, like, if y'all failed, like, it wasn't going to happen. But if you failed by so much, then it was going to lead to conflict. And I mean, obviously, Davos Nat 20, swept it. But
Mhm.
part of me was kind of hoping it would happen. You could look into buying one of those, but we'll have to make that decision pretty quick here.
So if y'all are down, we have to attune to it.
Yeah, almost all your more powerful wands and staves are going to require that.
Yeah.
True.
No, I want that one.
But anybody could carry a wand of magic missile, right? If you guys wanted to drop some money on a few of those, just to have like little pea shooters in your pocket.
That's actually not a bad idea.
Yeah.
I
even if
forgot
they're
how
just- even if
useful
we
they
just unload
they
'em.
generally are, but
Yeah.
I was like, the fact they can't miss is kind of cool.
Yeah, use them for try to get people's concentration on stuff. Which is like, I was thinking about the wand for like the whole persons and the whole monster. Like we could burn the legendary resistances of the worm speakers and stuff
Worm
using
speakers.
using the wand.
Not a bad
Yeah.
idea.
I'm also down for magic missiles if y'all want them. It's
I
just-
like magic missile.
It's 2 different.
The wand
ways
of
to
magic
do it,
missile would
sorta
be
the same
cheaper
thing.
by far. The wand of binding, that's gonna be quite a few thousand gold. That's a pretty powerful item. I'll say 5k for the wand of binding, and 1k for each of the wand of magic missiles. So if y'all want to spend 10k, get all of you a wand of magic missiles, and then the wand of binding, either somebody attuned to it. It has to be a spellcaster. Or you could have one of the crew attuned to it.
Let's start with the
Ooh,
magic. Let's start with the magic missiles.
I do like the idea of Dominatrix Tabitha with the wand of binding and the staff of healing. Like
Oh.
both extremes.
Yeah, me too.
Also, I'll show you the picture. It looks like a little ball gag on the fucking
on the
like.
skull.
my God.
It does look funny.
Oh my god, and
I
it's on a
remember-
chain?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, the chain is the wand. Yeah, I
That's
think.
nuts.
I remember seeing this as Deimos like, this is kinky.
Like, wait a second, bro. That's just got a clasp on the other side. You just wrap that right around their head and close it up.
Ben, you've been on mute if you've been picking an option.
I was not, but thank you for reminding me. I forgot that it was on mute.
I had to ask. What do you think? One's a magic missile, or we each would get one, so 5 magic missile wands, or 1 wand of binding.
You could probably afford both. It would be 10k, but y'all just got 25k. So
No, I'm
Excuse
down
me,
for y'all.
you got 2.5k.
My money's on magic missiles, honestly. Like, I love
Yeah.
those fucking things.
for sure.
You could also, Barb, I think you have a couple of them, but y'all could also get like arrows of dragon slaying, or
Ooh.
I think you've got a couple of. I think you have 2 castings left, 1 or 2 castings left of the Hero's Feast, which gives you the protection against fear, which you know is pretty clutch for dragons.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of anything else that might be of particular use.
We have 20k. I'm down to just get them all. I mean, well, it'll be half of whatever we have, but you know, we're getting ready to go do the big thing. We can't keep the horde, which sucks, but that's okay.
I say, yeah.
Thank you.
How much are the dragon slaying arrows?
Let me look them up real quick. And if somebody will check the bag to see how many we have.
I have the dragons.
We've
Yeah, I
got
totally forgot about those.
we've got a few. It's a very rare item, so they are going to be a little pricey. They deal an extra 6d10 damage.
6d10?
6d10, yeah. They do get to make
Holy
a saving
shit.
throw against it.
Do not see the arrows. Are we sure they weren't used?
I'm fairly certain we had some. I think we did use 1 or 2. I think I gave y'all 3 at one point, and y'all only used like 1 or 2. Let me
Check
see. Here.
magical items. Next, I was looking
can't
at
remember.
weapons and armor. I'll check there next. You keep going.
Like, I've slept since then, so I can't
No, yeah.
remember.
You have 3 arrows of dragon slaying.
Let's see.
And 60-10, the average of that is about 33 points. And then if they pass, they're only taking half as much. So you're looking at, instead of 33, they might be taking 16. So it's an extra punch because it's just extra damage on dragons. But I'd say those are probably going to run you about 2k.
Ooh.
Yeah, 2k a piece.
They spicy.
So if we each get a wand of magic missile, that's 5k. If we get 3 more of those arrows, it'll be 11k.
Mm-hmm. You could pay another 5 to make it a total of 16 for the wand of binding.
We've got the money.
But again,
to do it. Like this seems
Yeah,
like
somebody has to attune to it.
I need to check my items again, but this seems like the time to, like, if we're gonna wipe out the bank for stuff to help us, now's the time to do it.
I guess we have enough bowls for 2 hero feasts. We could always pick up 1 more just to be safe.
I think we're down to 1 actually, because it says 1 in the inventory, but then further down we have a -1. Yeah,
I feel like that makes sense.
How much does that add to that? Here we go.
the bowl for the Hero's Feast, that's 1,000.
So we could still do that. We'd be at like 17.
Okay, so you're looking at +5 Wand of Magic Missile. You're looking at Wand of Binding.
Plus
You're looking
three,
at how many arrows of Dragon Slaying?
3 more. Give her 6. We gotta
And
remember who
a-
has those when it comes time
and
to kill some dragons.
Yeah. Full of.
Sorry, say it again.
Are you getting a scroll of Hero's Feast or a bowl of Hero's Feast?
Does
Like
it-
a bowl to
Uh,
cast the spell or a scroll to have it innately?
a bowl, because it would be cheaper, right? Just get the
Well,
It-
but if
It would be
you
cheaper
use
gold
the,
cost wise, but you'd have to use the spell slot
spell
for it.
slot.
yeah,
But
Gotcha.
that's usually a spell you can use the day before. Just depends on how much you know, how priced you
Fair.
are for spells at the end of that day.
If we can afford the scroll, let's just get the scroll.
I agree.
Okay, so 5, 10, 16. I think that puts you at 18k.
Okay, where's our total? We have oh. I see. It's split up. Can we
So your
use
Party bank with valuables was 17,380
3? I see that.
plus the two. You have 19,880.
1988. Okay, heard.
That would be selling all your valuables. So, just
I'm down if y'all are. We're essentially like video game style, cleaning out, hitting sell and everything in the inventory,
Oh,
and then
some of those valuables are the symbol of the planes that Josh would need.
I'm gonna keep 3 of those. I'm down to sell 2 because I want to give 1 to you 2.
Well-
You'll need it.
Again, there's 5 listed there, but you've used at least 1 since.
Well, I think, yeah, I guess it was one of those things because they don't actually get used when you cast the spell, like they're not consumed.
Oh, that is right. No, we talked about this. Okay.
So I want to keep 3 of them, like 1 for the upper and then 2 for the lower. Give 1 of the lowers to you 2, just because he has a spell, he's gonna need something to cast it with. But if we still genuinely have 5, I'm down to get rid of 2 of them.
Let's see here.
We also need to keep our diamonds.
Yeah.
That is a very good point.
you're right. We have a 500 gold and a 300. We have 6 300 golds. We just got 1 more. So
How about we do it this way? You have 3 large rubies worth 1,000, so that's 3,000. We sell the ruby vials filled with liquid, which y'all correctly assumed were spell components. That's 1050 for the onyx gems, also spell components. Large black pearl, also spell component. And then if you sell 3 of the symbols plus the 2,500 you have plus the 6,930, that puts you at 16,880. So you might want to put something back. If you have
what was the very
right
last
now, I
thing
think
we
you're at
got?
1,700. You've got 5 wands of magic missile, 1 wand of binding, 3 arrows of dragon slaying, and a scroll of hero's feast. You already have 3
You can
arrows
put
of
down
dragon
one of my
slaying.
arrows if need be. I should be good with 5 total.
I was thinking the same thing. Yeah.
Cool. I'm about it. Goldrun's gonna give Carter back to Gideon.
Let's be poor together.
It's time. We don't want that bitch to have any gold. If we die, our corpses will be barren of gold.
I think that leaves y'all with like a handful of gold, like less than 2k.
A handful. More than any commoner will ever see in their entire life.
If that's the level of worth you want to be at, a commoner, then that's all up to you, my guy. I think that does get y'all pretty squared away. Any other business in town before you depart?
Very, very sometime during this process, Goldrun will give Bone Carver back to Gideon so that he can attune to the wand of binding. Unless someone else wants it.
do not want.
We give it to Tabitha,
You're
but then
giving
she
up
has to be there.
her own car first. That's a little surprising.
The
Yeah.
axe mostly. We give it to Tabitha, but then she has to be there when we do the big fight.
Which I would discourage, just so I don't have to run 50 NPCs. But
Oh yeah, well, he'll give it back to Gideon, and so I can tune to the axe, tune to the jigger.
Gideon takes the scythe and spends a little bit of the trip wandering through some motions with it, trying to get more comfortable with it, as it were. With that, you all take to the skies, feeling renewed as you have a new ship, a new crew, some fresh ammunition, and seem to be in good spirits overall. Morale is high. You had a little meter for it. Based on your latest information, you believe that you are to search for this necrotic entity near this ruined city of Everaska. I have a map for this, but I'm not sure if I'm ready for you to see it. I mean, I think it'll be good. If I regret it, I'll regret it another day. As you all feel the ship rocket forward as the gate opens up, you feel the air shift as you fly through. The skies are hazy here, choked with smoke and the fumes that give the sky a murky orange-red haze. To the south, you see the peaks that surround the Well of Dragons, as well as the dark specks that drift all about them. You know these, of course, to be flocks of Wyrms, but you also see larger shadows of dragons in the distance. And in the few seconds you watch, you see 6 or 7 easily. I think as you appear through the portal, Tajin says, "It would do best if we keep low. If we're too high and get spotted, we might draw more attention than we want, at least now." The city of Everaska beneath you is devastated. This is normally a lush haven for elven folk and was ravaged by Bane's forces some 7 years ago, but had made much progress in regrowth and renewal. All of that, of course, has been for naught, as its grand boughs are little more than kindling, and the blackened bark and smoldering stumps are all that remain of the grand forest. Even the stone buildings, sturdy as they are, lie semi-dissolved in great pools of bubbling acid. The worst part, by far, however, is the stench. The pungent aroma of burning hair, seared skin, and caustic chemicals clings to this once holy place that has since been baptized in acid and ash. As you look over the ruined city, you see the remnants of citizens who weren't lucky enough to evacuate in time. Corpses litter the ruined streets and are being picked apart by buzzards and other vermin. As you examine this once urban landscape, you catch a flicker of movement. Pandora, would you make a perception check for me? "22. You see a few things. The first thing you see is a body ship, partially trapped beneath a collapsed barn, a survivor within this wreckage. And as you look closer, you see a few more of these, scattered here and there, perhaps a dozen or so altogether. It's not until you see one staggering freely that you realize this isn't a survivor, but a straggler. Its unnerving gait is familiar to you, but even if it weren't, the sight of its headless corpse walking down the street makes it abundantly clear that these survivors are all undead that now follow the call of a new master, staggering onward to the Well of Dragons. You see that there is a steady trickle of these corpses, each wandering in from the northeast and heading southward. This seems to provide you with a clear trail to follow. As you pull away, and continue to follow these corpses northward, you all feel a shockwave blast out from the mountaintops as you are buffeted by thunder unlike any you've ever experienced. Your ears ring, your eyes water, and it feels as if your skull should split despite your best efforts to hold it together. This is the thunderous force of the Drakhorn, and your stomach drops as you realize you've been hearing this across the entire country, but now it's just there beyond your sight. Those of you who have only recently become worm speakers now understand the sickening effect that it had on Ark and Tajin. It's as if a hot knife was pressed into your scalp and cutting into your mind with a searing agony. Tajin's face grows particularly grim as he regards this new information and realizes that the other dragons, the gemstone and the metallic alike, they will be similarly affected in close proximity. This poses a grave threat to our cause. We should continue on our way. The further we are from the horn, the better, but I have a feeling sooner than later we're going to have to find a way to silence them. You all continue north.
I believe
Sorry, one more
so.
time.
Oh, I just said couldn't agree more.
I believe we floated the idea of dropping
A meteor
comments on
swarm.
it. Yeah, I mean, still on the table. Just saying.
Can't rule it out.
Gotta keep your options open. As you all continue northward, you follow the parade of cadavers, and which is relatively simple. They seem to lack the intelligence or motivations to hide, and are not quite perceptive enough to be concerned with your airship. Or perhaps you underestimate them and they recognize a ship of the Cult of the Dragon and see you as an ally. Regardless, you are unbothered as you follow the trail to the edge of the misty Grey Spire Peaks and the ravaged Forgotten Forest, until eventually the ground below grows glossy with the sheen of stagnant water, as the soil below becomes the peat and brine of a marsh. The trees that grow here do so in scattered clusters, separated on small islands by foul water. As the trail of corpses grows thinner and thinner, you begin to lose sight of their source, and you only manage to continue tracking them based on the few undead that seem to have become stuck in the mire. Fetid breadcrumbs leading you to a far darker destination. As the day stretches on, the sun dims behind the hazy skies, and you finally come to a clearing where you see a bit of activity, the flash of arcana being casted. You are far enough away to where you don't feel like you've been immediately spotted, but know if you continue with the airship that will not be the case for long. How do you choose to approach?
Really quick, because I didn't want to disrupt your beautiful descriptors. After hearing the horn on the rest of the way up here, I would have taken a moment to gather the lords. And I would have had a conversation with them for just a little bit, trying to amp them up a bit for the fight that is ahead. And I want to invoke my inspiring leader feat and give everybody 24 temporary hit points.
Look at you. 24 temp hit points. That's pretty solid. Everybody add that to your temporary hit point counter. A very healthy boost. Very nice. I think that I think that as you're giving this, while he wasn't directly invited, he's always sort of lingering around. U2 goes, "Wow, I am so eloquent. That was marvelous. Thank you."
I was gonna invite him, but I didn't know if he was allowed to have temporary hit points or not.
You know what? I'll allow it. Just this.
Nice. Give it to
Maybe
him,
not as a
baby.
permanent thing, but he's just so inspired. He's like, "Wow, I didn't even know I could do that."
I
Nice.
forgot to pick spells
Fantastic.
earlier. Now I have to do that.
Ah,
So, like,
better make it quick.
well, no, well, I'm picking them now, but I was trying to think of ways for the Drakhorn. Trying to think of cool, big spells. So I'm going to look at that.
I will say, from this map, you can obviously see that the Well of Dragons is within this valley around these peaks. The Drakhorn did seem to emanate from somewhere in that vicinity. Maybe not the well itself, but in that general direction.
We'll deal with
For
that
what that's
next.
worth.
So, are y'all
You
down
also
to
see-
activate our? I'm sorry.
Now you find you also see perhaps the dark outlines of a few more of these ships. And if you were to consult the map in the captain's quarters, see the
I
white,
didn't mean to do that.
the green, the black,
Mm-hmm.
and the blue have now all since gathered.
Indeed, Lee. We gotta deal with this
Indeed,
necromancer first, though. Are y'all down to activate our flying stuff and just fly from here? To get to it? I don't know of a much better way to approach without, like, trying to take the ship over top of it and dropping in, which may not be possible. It's a big old ship.
I mean, I'm not gonna burn anything that lets me fly. How bright is it outside?
Yeah, it is kind of hazy here. I would classify it mostly as dim light.
Cool.
Maybe not
probably-
mostly, but there are plenty of patches of dim light to get to.
Are we
I'll
close
probably
enough
just
to the
look for one of
ground
those and-
that you can shadow step to the ground.
I mean, buddy, if
Can't you
we said
just-
we were hanging low, it's 120 feet. I think I can make it that far.
Can't you just fly with your
Whirlwind thing with you?
your spirit?
That's true. I could use the mount. I don't know. I forgot about that. Yeah, let's just do that. It's easier.
I mean, if anyone has a better idea, I don't know how to get there without the ship without flying.
If I'm not mistaken, everyone now has a method of flying without expending a resource. I will also say, oh shit. What will I also say? Oh my god, it's just left my dumb fucking head.
Been there.
Flying the ship over. It's almost a bit of a gamble. You know that you are technically in a ship of the Cult of the Dragon, granted a ship that's been missing for some time. You could try to draw close and hope that they won't immediately retaliate or flee, but if they do flee, that it would jeopardize the mission and make it harder to find your enemy. I will tell you, it'll come down to a die roll, what their response is.
Don't trust die rolls, man.
Yeah.
I also
so
have to question, like, what usefulness is it to have the ship overhead? I guess I could fire cannons, but is that better
just
for
to
us,
get
you know?
Yeah, that's fair. I was gonna say just to get us closer, so we didn't have to like fly. But if we're falling off the ship, we're gonna have to use some kind of resource. We'd get on the ground and walk over there, I guess, if we wanted to. But it looks like we'd be landing in hot territory. Am I understanding that correct? Yeah.
It's thinned a bit, but there are still corpses that are wandering from that point toward you, technically, because you're approaching from the south. Shrug. What's it gonna be, Lords? Are you disembarking?
I'm okay. Floating down and disembarking, honestly.
Yeah, it's probably the
Oh,
safer
yeah.
bet.
It'll be certainly easier to sneak up on them and potentially get a surprise round if you are flying low.
No, I'm down. Let's do it.
Okay.
So is that,
As
let's say, are we
as
flying
each of
or are
you,
we going to the ground and walking?
I think it'll be subtler to fly down and sort of stick close to the tree cover.
Yeah.
As Goldbrain, you enter your starry form to get your draconic wings. You are surprised that they are quite big, larger than before, and the stars that were within them, while they are still that ethereal starlight color, do have a twinge more of green to them. Part of your blessing with this is that your flight speed is doubled. So instead of a 20-foot fly speed, you have a 40-foot fly speed, which puts you much more on par with keeping pace with your allies.
Indeed.
Old
Uh,
man can keep up.
Yeah.
I
Teach
am
us old
right
dogs to be
AF,
freaks.
so we might have to land before we get too much closer because I shed light.
That is a good point.
It's just going to like cover it like with a cloak, like the robot in Futurama.
But you could probably cover, because the constellations are points in your body, I feel like those are pretty easy to cover. The wings are a little trickier. But there is some cover within the marsh, and it is daylight, so you wouldn't be, necessarily a light in the dark, as it were. As you all snake your way through the marsh, you get what you think is a comfortable distance away. Approaching, I think, perhaps from the east or the west, not directly from the south, where more undead may be lurking. Let's get you guys a visual. This is an area known as the Lonely Moor, and it does not seem to be particularly bustling at the time. You spot 2 dragonborn. Oh, actually, someone make a perception check for me. I'm sorry.
I
You know
can
who it'd
percept.
be? Do it, Brenda. You know what it'd be?
22.
22. Pandora, you notice a couple of things. You notice that there are not a great deal of undead here. In fact, you only see about 3. They are a little unusual, though. You've not encountered this exact thing before. It is a rather sallow figure. Looks like it has been partially preserved here in the swamp. And is donning some very old armor. I think you would pick up the elements of it remind you of Molech in his attire. These might be Netherese undead, as it were. The 2 figures that seem to be doing the bulk of the casting appear to be Dragonborn. Both of them are wearing robes of the Cult of the Dragon, but they seem to be of a much higher station than the gentleman you have locked on your ship. You see a black Dragonborn who also has a blade within his hand, as well as a blue Dragonborn who seems to be carrying a long spear and a sword at his side. They seem to be making their way through the swamp, picking up the corpses as they come across them. The 3 undead around them appear to be on lookout, as it were. Y'all can try to make a group stealth check to get a little closer, but let's go ahead and get y'all somewhere on the map. I'll say not too close. Let's say maybe 50 feet plus away.
50 feet. Make sure everyone can see my ruler here.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thought mine was visible.
Yours was visible.
Oh, it is. Okay, sorry. My bad.
I guess it don't matter. I guess we could try to come in from this direction. Got them trees around us. Nah. I think Pandora's got the right idea there. Boop. Oh. Yeah, I'll take front-ish.
I will also say, as you're approaching, you see as you're flying up that the water here typically isn't very deep, but it's very muddy. The ground in the water is difficult terrain. You do see a few isolated deeper pools where the water grows darker, but it's kind of difficult to make those out from the surface itself. It was easier to see when you were up higher. If I can get a stealth check from everybody to see how well y'all do at easing on up here.
Oh,
Oop, sorry. I'm just trying to click away from
Ooh.
stuff. Oh,
having to rely on my stealth, man. That is not ideal.
Oh, we took a long rest. I need to roll Wheel or Woe. Goldbrand also sucked. More Woe. I rolled 13 last time, says my sticky note.
Can I get one for Davos, good sir?
Yes, sir. Sorry about that.
No, you're fine.
Crow, 0 to 2.
As you all,
Lord, y'all.
as you all glide down. You feel at first you're doing rather well. You're almost silently gliding through these trees. But as you come close, I think it's Davos who first sort of has to beat his wings to stop himself from moving forward and sink as he lands in the mud, sinks down a good 6 inches with a loud wet, and it draws just enough attention to where your position has been given away. I'm gonna need everybody to roll some initiative.
Gonna grumble at Davos. Amateur.
I don't initialize this conversation.
Oh, nat 20 on the.
Yeah.
Let me also shift our tunes up here. Oh, Yuan, is U2 with you or no?
For this part of the adventure, I'm gonna say no.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. All right, boys.
Rattle 'em, boys.
Yeah, that'll work perfect. Fantastic. As you all touch down in the Lonely Moor, you are very quickly spotted. Pandora, you realize that you have a moment to act before the enemy can scramble. What do you choose to do?
Oh boy.
Oh, I'm going first, says Pandora
Also,
every initiative.
Davos needs initiative.
I'm sorry?
I don't think Davos rolled initiative.
I don't think I did either. I think it's right. My
Did
bad.
he get a 9? Oh, no, that was his stealth check. Thank you for saying that.
26.
Oh damn. That's him first.
Whoops.
I'm not ready.
26.
Not ready for that. Davos is gonna cast slow.
Solid opening play. On who?
Indeed. Oh, dude, all of them. Every one of them.
Can he get the whole range?
Let me see here. Within 120 feet, and it's a 40-foot cube. I think we've had this conversation before.
I don't think they are all in a 40-foot cube.
Let's find out. It's pretty big. Is that 20-foot radius? Is that how that would be, or is it a 40-foot?
No, it's 40 feet on one side. Oh shit. Yeah, that's pretty
huge.
big.
Dude. Up to 6 creatures.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All of them are going to make a wisdom saving throw. Is that right?
Yeah, let me get this put in chat where we can find that out together. I've got to. It don't matter if I upcast it. I just have to find it real fast so I can cast it. Here we go. Yes, sir. 19.
Wisdom.
Yeah, Goldbrand, there were 2 necromancers. Goldbrand might woe somebody if he has to. He would want to woe the most important one.
Oh, I'm sorry. 1 second. They are proficient in this.
Oh no.
Gross.
Which to you is anybody who can read.
I didn't assign them as far as the wisps go. I will tell you, one of the necromancers has failed. One of them has passed. I won't tell you by how much. And then one of the corpses passed, and 2 of them failed.
There are 2 necromancers. It's worth it to try to wheel the first one, or the one that failed. Just
Okay,
in case.
is that a
takes my
D6?
It is. It takes my reaction. 5.
Ooh! Let me do some math. I think that gets him, yeah. Because it's 19, right?
Yes. Sir.
Yeah.
19.
Davos feels very confident that his spell has gone off without a hitch. He has gotten 4 of the 5 targets locked down. Bonus action, Davos.
No, I don't want to give out his bardic inspirations for him. So I will move though. That will be the end of. He won't bonus action. I think he will.
Pandora, while he's moving, what you got?
He's gonna take cover over here, maybe.
All right. Okay. So, was that a group stealth check earlier, and it doesn't technically count for my personal stealth check, right?
Technically, yes. As y'all are in a clump, for lack of a better word, when Davos revealed, it sort of revealed, oh, there's a group of people over there. You will have to hide again before you get your point.
Okay, well, I'll just go ahead and boink this dude that's the closest.
Yeah, get him.
Roll to boink. That was a 30 to hit.
Nice. Okay, yeah, that definitely hits. He is boinked thoroughly.
Four-
14 points of damage. All right.
Then we're gonna move. Hold on, let me make sure I measure. We're gonna move behind this here rock at zoomy cat speed. And we're
Also,
gonna hide.
Devin, if you will mark Davos is concentrating for me.
Yes, sir.
That's a 31 stealth check.
31 is very solid. Excellent. Action, bonus action as we round to Goldbrand, and I will mark Davos is concentrating. Oh, you got it.
Yeah. So what I think I'm gonna
What
do,
you got,
I just measured out my full 45 speed of movement. Is this difficult terrain here?
The water is technically difficult terrain. However, you do have a 40-foot fly speed. You were just using that, so you could use that without being inhibited, as it were.
I need to move 45 feet. Pause. Fine.
You can't go up and over those trees or skirt them.
I still don't think I would make it. So
He walks faster than he flies, as it.
yeah. So I just can't get the full 45 on the long
Oh,
ones.
but you could walk on the ground, fly over the water, and continue to walk and get your 45.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Well, that's what he's gonna do. Well, I can't fly. That changes my plan. I was gonna change my constellation, but I won't, so I can fly to get up to this guy that's slowed. What is one of the necromancers, right?
Yes, sir.
And then he's gonna go for it. He's gonna do the thing. He wants to fuck him
Do
up.
the thing. Which one's that cyan rare?
34 and a 27.
Oh,
Or-
I'm so sorry. I need to do one thing, and I'm the worst about this. That was a wisdom save earlier.
Oh, that was the wrong one. Was a wisdom save.
He has Indomitable, so he gets to re-roll a saving throw when he fails. I will screenshot this so there's no fuckery. He rolled a 20, not a natural 20, but a dirty 20, so he does pass that.
That's not the guy that
it is
got
Ooh.
whoa. Was
The
it?
other one was the one that got weaved.
Yeah. Whoa. Yeah.
Or whoa, yeah, sorry. But he is technically not slowed. My apologies.
Doesn't
If
matter,
that
still gonna
changes
beat
your-
him up. No, I'm still gonna beat him
Cool.
up.
Whack him!
34 and 27. I rolled the wrong weapon, but the damage looks nice, so I don't know.
Technically, that damage is a 1d4. Roll with your axe. I don't mind if it has a plus 15 as well. I don't mind to keep the
Yes, it does.
the
I'm trying to get.
attack rolls, but I will need to do damage rolls.
I'm trying to get the damage, just the damage to roll, and I don't want to do it. So give me just a second. So that'd be 14
Fantastic,
and
that's-
17.
31 points.
Yes, sir. Just gotta hit him real good.
I give it. Gives a nice little chunk to his hit points. All right, that was your action. Bonus action.
Since I'm in the thick of it, I would like to rage. That doesn't change anything if I had done it earlier, except to add 4 damage. But I will go ahead and rage. Worth.
Yeah. Fantastic. All right, as we round to Yuan. Yuan, you see as Barbara and Goldbrand start laying off some shots, and Davos locks him down with the slow. How do you choose to proceed?
Let me count here.
You can count. Whoa.
Barely. I think if I go right here, I'm gonna pop a fire bolt at that guy.
Ooh, get him.
I hope. Rolled a 1. That's still a 17 to hit.
Oh. Oh, not quite. Very close, actually. But closer than he would like it to be for that one.
And then,
Or she, technically, I think.
I'm gonna use my 15 feet of remaining movement speed to get back out of line of sight and just go right back where I was.
Okay, yeah. That brings us to Cyan Wrath the Blue. Currently tied up with Goldbrand. She knows that Davos was the one who slowed them. He's just a little too far away. I think he's going to start by Goldbrand, make a strength saving throw for me.
Goldbrand left the building.
Oh no! Golly! In that case, 5, 10, 15. She's going to skirt around him a bit. I don't think that hits a Goldbrand.
Let's find out together, shall we? AC a 19.
Oh, the one does hit a Goldbrand. I thought he was up to a 20 now. Goldbrand, we're going to do a couple of things real quick. Make a strength saving throw.
Let me see if I get advantage on this for rage.
Oh, very nice. I'll tell you, you don't need it.
Okay.
So, the blue dragonborn that you were engaged with, which now that you're looking at them, does not quite appear to be a dragonborn. It sort of skirts around you and then tries to sweep at you with the spear. Unfortunately, you maintain standing. It does try to make 2 strikes at you, one of which misses. The other one is a 20 to hit, which is going to deal 14 points of piercing damage. For you, halved to 7.
Still not even through my 10 hit points. Y'all add your 10 hit points if you hadn't, like me.
Oh, very good point. Yeah. I'm considering having him. Oh, wait, was that a 19? No, it was not. Okay. I'm considering having him do something else, but I don't think we're going to this round. We will round to all 3 of our spoopy wispy boys. They are all kind of scattered. This one, I think, 1, 2, 3. It's half movement speed, but I think they get 20. Let me confirm that. Oh, they have 60. They're much faster. One of them is going to rush up to to Davos, and he is going to go with he only gets to make one of these. He's going to go with a life drain attack. He has to roll pretty high to get these. That's a 27 though, which I'm fairly certain does hit. I'm going to need Davos to make a Constitution saving throw. Come on, con save. Oh, he does pass, not by much. He's going to take 15 points of necrotic damage. I also need him to make a DC 10 concentration check as I move on to the next one.
24.
24 definitely does save. He's good. Let's see. The next one is going to come up. It's going to make the same attack onto Goldbrand. Oh, but he rolled like shit. That's fine. The third one is not slowed. And with 60 points, he can, 60 feet of movement, he can get a good bit. I think his primary concern is going to be getting off this casting. What's the range on that life drain? It's a 5-foot thing.
Is life drain a spell? Can you cast spell while slow?
It's not a spell, it's a creature ability.
Okay, I want to make sure the other 2 had it.
I think Vampiric Touch is the spell, but it's essentially the same thing. He is going to drift over here, and then he has a pike that has a 10-foot reach, so he's going to make 2 swings at Davos. Excuse me, at Goldbrand. A 19 meets.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you are going to get 16 plus 9. You're resistant to everything except psychic, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so this is force and necrotic damage. Oh, and your mask gives you resistance to psychic,
Yes.
which was so you have resistance to everything now. Look at you. So instead of 25, you're going to take 13 points of damage total. And that brings us to Resmir, who is rather displeased.
And also slow.
They could... Yeah. The funny thing is, he could dispel the thing, but there's a chance that it wouldn't work. He does not like that. Let me see something real quick.
Oh, you have to roll to see if your spell cancels, right, when you're slow.
Yeah, if he... What's his speed? 30 feet, so only 15 right now. Now, that's not quite where he wants to be. And then Davos is 40 feet away. He would only be able to make one of these. He doesn't have a whole lot of options, though. He's going to go with a Caustic Bolt on Davos. Oh, but that does not hit. We round from Resmir. And I think it's Goldbrand. As all these enemies, you've rushed into the front lines, and the enemies are sort of coalescing around you. Pandora, where did you go? You literally just fucked off into the captain engine, didn't you?
Sure.
Yeah, I'm over there behind a rock.
Oh, I'm sorry. My map was scooted over just a little too far. So I think that Goldbrand, you're the first to see as bubbling begins to occur within the swamp. And arising from it is a skeletal-looking dragon. This glows with an ethereal light. It does not seem as if the hollow dragon or the ghost dragon that you have fought previously, but it does seem to be some type of dragonoid undead. This bursts from the swampy bed, and seeing the chaos about him, I think he's going to start. Y'all did not have a hero's piece, so I need everyone to make a wisdom saving throw for me as he opens up with a frightful presence.
Man, second nat one.
Ooh. That is a pass for Goldbrand, a fail for you, Yuan.
Wisdom.
Oh, that is a fail for Arcanox. And a fail for Davos. Pandora, come on. Be wise. Be wise. Oh, no. Everyone but Goldbrand. A lucky point, you most certainly may.
Yeah. Wow, what the fuck?
Do you want to use another?
Don't do it.
Actually, I don't want to be...
I'll goad you into using all of them, but...
This is just the fight before the fight.
You gotta fucking be kidding me, man. I'm just gonna suffer. I'm not gonna use another one.
All of you except for Goldbrand are frightened, which means you have disadvantage on attacks and saving throws while the creature is in your line of sight, and you can't willingly move toward it. But don't worry, that's not much of a problem because he's going to move towards you. I think he's gonna come. I think he's gonna burst right to the center of the action here. Get right there. I think we're gonna open up with. Oh. Yeah, because he can do. Let me check one thing real quick. Yeah. I think he's going to go for a claw attack on Davos because Davos has proved annoying. A 27 will hit a Davos. That's 23 points of slashing damage. I need him to make a DC 12 Constitution saving throw.
A con save or a concentration check?
Concentration check.
24.
That is perfect. You're good. He is going to cast the spell Shadow of Moil. You watch as his body begins to glow with these flame-like shadows that wreathe around him. Y'all aren't familiar with what this spell does. This is a newer one, so I'm not going to tell you. Arcanox, go right ahead, my friend.
Right. Being frightened by a giant dragon kind of changed my plan a little bit.
That do happen.
It do happen indeed. See here. Alright, since I'm frightened, I'm not wanting to fight this fucking thing. It's not gonna work anyway. Oh well, whatever. Arcanox does what Arcanox does when he is panicked. Swinging 3 times.
Yeah, you are going to have disadvantage because of your frightened condition. The first swing is a 14, and that misses. Roll another time for your second swing.
Yeah.
It would have been a nat 20. It does not hang on the 20, though. It does hit on a 26. The middle one does hit. Go ahead and roll damage for that.
All right, so for 2 of them, you said?
Or I'm sorry, just one of them. First one misses, third one misses. He does take that 7.
7.
And as you end your turn, he is going to use his first legendary action. He's gonna make a perception
Real quick,
check.
bonus action shield of phase, and that's it.
Yeah. He is going to make a perception check. He knows. Barbara, did you roll a 36 or higher? That's a 19. Is that a 19?
I rolled a 31 on my stealth.
A 31. You feel the uncomfortable gaze of this thing come onto you as you realize it knows exactly where you are. I'm not sure who player character F is. That might be you too. As we come to the top of the round, Devin, you want to roll a d4 for me?
I also just realized anyone could have used their legendary resistance on their mass to pass.
I realized that too. Too
yeah,
late.
didn't realize that. I rolled 3. Think about that.
Oh yeah.
You watch as this well, I guess I can go ahead and say it, as this Draco Lich emerges from this swamp, dripping in this shadowy energy. It clenches its claws into the mud, and a pulse of purple energy rushes through. And you watch as 3 figures rise from the swampy water. I'll place these just scattered about randomly. 3 figures emerge, and we go to Davos. Davos, what do you do?
He is afeared. He can't move closer to nothing. I don't like these things.
It's a fair place to be.
Can he blind the Draco Lich without blinding you on, and if he used...
his Light of Lathander does not hurt allies any. He certainly could.
Okay. So I think he'll open... No, he wants the Light of Lathander first. He'll take whatever one step back he needs to take, if at all, to Light of
He does
Lathander.
not need to.
Yeah, to Light of Lathander. And then...
Yeah.
So I need to make my...
What is that, a Constitution save?
Good. Get in here where DM can see this. Yes, sir.
The Wisp rolled a 19, which fails, and the Dragon rolled a 33. So the Wisp is going to be blinded. He's going to take the full 28 points of that, unless he is resistant to radiant, which I don't think he is. He is not. So he's going to take 28, which puts him pretty low, knocks him down to about half, and he is now slowed and blinded. The Dragon, as the light washes over him, he's passed, so he's only taking half. He also seems to be resistant to the radiant damage, though. So instead of taking 14, he's only going to take 7.
Alright.
And is not blinded. That was his bonus action.
Paladin 3. He only gets 1 attack? He's going to take that attack on the Wisp there. He's going to try and get it cleared out. 13, 21.
Do one thing.
He's blinded. I get extra damage? Where's that at? Not that nice.
I think it's an extra D8, if I'm not mistaken.
Plus 3 more damage.
Fantastic. The Blade of Absolution does absolutely hit him. Roll that attack one more time just to see if he crits.
For his advantage.
Yeah. That's okay. 13 plus 3, that's going to be 16. Solid chunk out of his hit points. He is on death's door again, as it were. We round to Pandora. Pandora, you feel seen. Oh, actually, before that, the Draco Lich is going to use the legendary action. He is going to lash it out at you, I think, with a tail attack. Yeah, that's the one he needs to hit you that far away. Tell me, does a 35 hit, Barbara?
Jesus Christ.
I don't get to ask you if something hits often because you're normally hiding, so I really just wanted to take full advantage of it. Take 19 points of bludgeoning damage as you are knocked prone.
Can I also use my uncanny dodge on that one?
To half the damage, you most certainly may.
Yeah. So that would be, what's half of 19? 9 damage?
Sorry, yes, 9. I was writing stuff.
Okay. Okay. And then that knocks me prone. For some reason, I was thinking I had something. Guess that was that.
What you got, girl?
I'm looking. Okay, so remind me what prone does.
You have to use half your movement speed to stand.
Oh no, half my
Or you-
movement speed.
Or you could stay down, but then things that come to hit you in melee range have advantage.
Okay, yeah, I don't want that.
Nobody want that.
Nobody want that. I was looking to see what I had here. Because if I'm seen, I guess I can. I'm just seen by him. I'm not necessarily seen by the other creature. So,
Correct. Yeah.
so I can pick off the rabble.
And if you roll again, like if you hide again, he will have to make a new check to try to find you. But you
But
do
then I
gather he
can't
could.
hide at the end.
Yeah. So it's
Okay, and I'm frightened of him, which gives me disadvantage against hitting him anyway, right?
hitting anyone. All your attacks are disadvantaged.
All
I need
of
to
them.
remember that.
Oh, huh.
Yeah,
Okay.
as long as the source of your fear is within your sight, you have disadvantage to try to hit it. Davos, by the way, can make a new attempt at not being afeared. If he is afeared.
I'll do that. He is feared.
If everyone who is afeared will mark their token, by the way, just so we can keep up with that a little easier.
4.
That don't help none. Although I will say he could use a legendary resistance to pass that if he wants to. That would be his one for the day, though.
I'm gonna save it. I think he should get to choose that.
I understand.
There's the
I get that
little fear
logic, but
thing.
he's not here to choose that.
Yeah, but it's gonna matter more later. Yeah, it could matter more later. That's all that matters. Where is the?
I got
I
you.
was looking for the little face. Oh, there he is. That little face.
Let's say Davos is here is concentration. I'm trying to find one. The one Davos has is concentration. I was trying to find one for fear. You got a little mark on you?
Okay.
Elon? Little
I was
This
looking
one?
for a thing because I'm
Yeah,
gonna
put a thing on
try
it.
and hit him. Hit somebody.
yeah.
Okay, we're gonna use. I had something. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and try to hit. I guess this dude that's by Davos since he's already hurting.
He is blinded, so that's actually going to nullify the disadvantage. So you just get a straight shot.
Oh hell yeah, we like that. That's a 22 to hit him.
22 definitely hits. 11 damage, fantastic.
Am I hidden from him though?
Oh, you did you hide before? Oh, no, yes, I'm sorry, we just talked about this. Yeah, you're good. So that with that extra 39 points of damage, yeah, you decimate him.
Decimate him.
Fantastic.
All right, and I used half of my movement speed to get up, meaning I have 15. That's perfect to get into these trees.
Yeah, go ahead and pop over there, pop a new stealth Goldbrand. As we round to you, you're sort of surrounded as you see this big boy pop on up out of the water. What do you do?
Perfect. That's a good
The
question.
poor bastards.
Yeah, I was really sitting here wishing I had earlier. I thought about taking Cone of Cold and I did not. I'm sad because I can do a couple of them with it.
Say lovey.
Yeah,
Lavi.
I will. Let me check what spell level this is. I'm trying to conserve my fucking resources. Okay. 30-foot radius. cast. Otherwise, I'm gonna smack stuff.
Do you want a second? We can jump to you on, or do you think it'd be quick?
Yeah, it'll be fast. I just need to see how big 30 feet is. So I can get so.
As big as the room.
Yeah. So I'm gonna put this over here. Come on now. That would affect the dragon and everything, including me.
It would not affect these two newcomers that have popped up, but yes.
You see where I'm wanting to put it, though, where I can scrape the dragon and
Yeah.
everybody in this little area.
Yes.
I'm gonna cast Maelstrom because I have another 5th level spell slot to use after this. Oh, come on, put it in chat.
And the guy who knows counterspell is slowed. So yeah, go ahead.
Damn.
I didn't mean to roll that twice. I was trying to get put in chat. Long story short, he pretty much turns all this swamp into this big, swampy whirlpool almost. He does some druid shit. They have to make a strength save or take 66 bludgeoning damage and get pulled towards the center of it. I guess that includes me, which really sucks, but I'm flying, which gives me advantage on my concentration. Yes.
Well, you're
Or not
flying, so I
advantage,
don't think it'd be affected by it, yeah?
Yes. No, I agree. I need to put my concentration bubble up.
Everybody fails.
This is my last big expenditure for this fight. After that, we're gonna try and just smack shit with mine.
Is this about where you had that, give or take?
Close enough.
Fantastic. Excellent. Okay. When it starts its turn there, help me keep up with that as we go. Bonus action. And/or movement. You could fly out.
Oh, Joey, do we roll against frightened to break free?
Yes. End of your turn, wisdom save. I think it's a 19, but I will double check.
Okay, let me go ahead and roll that then.
No, I can't change
It's a DC
constellation.
20. Oh, and you just
Well, I
beat
beat
it.
it.
Good job.
I had to drop my rage to do that, so I am gonna fly. I will fly up in the air.
Bonus action. Okay. Oh, yeah, that's cool. So you've dropped your rage. You've brought up your starry constellation. You fly up and out. We round to Yuan. What you got, homie?
I was gonna do one thing, but I know that Goldbrand dropped his rage. I don't feel good about it now.
Gotta absorb elements.
Meteor swarm. Meteor swarm. Meteor swarm.
I definitely wasn't gonna do that. I'm gonna first off, dang, I don't know if I want to really separate myself like this. I guess I can see past the dragon. I'm just gonna stand here, whatever. I'm gonna lob a fireball like Kobe over the top of the hill and just try to hit everything in that circle, including Goldbrand where he's at.
Okay. I don't see a circle. If you'll pop that up for me, but I'll start rolling some saves.
Yeah.
Deck saves.
They are deck saves.
I could have flown. I should have specified. I could have flown 40 feet. Or 40.
Oh, that's a very good point.
It's 20 feet, so I mean...
You would have... Did you fly just straight up, Goldbrand?
Yeah, that was my thought, but I didn't specify how far, which is kind of...
One of them would be able to... Oh, technically two of them, because they have pikes. Two of them would have been able to make opportunity attacks on you.
Okay.
I'm going to roll that real quick.
If I do it just like this, I could technically hit everything there, including the dragon, I think.
Yeah, get that dragon too.
Does a 22...
Let me just cast a spell and you'll see, but I think 22 meets.
Oh, a 22 and a
that's for me.
25 both hit Goldbrand. 14 plus 9 plus 16. 39. You're not raging anymore. So 39 points of damage altogether as you take force, necrotic, and piercing damage from these two fuckers in the southeast.
Is that piercing damage magical?
Ooh, I don't think it is, but let me look real quick.
I am innately resistant to it because at Druid level 14, that was the ability that I got. Piercing, bludgeoning, and slashing, I am now resistant to.
So what did I say, 39? Instead, take 32.
Okay.
Because I don't think he has a magical weapon. The other guy does for sure, but it doesn't specify for him.
Is that 15? I gotta roll a 15 on my concentration check.
What did I say, 32, 16. We're gonna roll some Bobbity Boobity.
Should've done that.
Deck save. Dex. And the other guy.
Oh, you want to
Okay.
sling his fireball, didn't he? You do.
Yeah, I just did.
You were in this area, right? You get these 5?
I get everybody there and the dragon and this guy over here, actually. Let me do it again, but
The slowed guys have disadvantage.
if I do it like this, I can get everybody in there plus clip the dragon.
Nice. Let me do the dragon real quick. And then I'll do... oh, he has magical resistance, so he makes it at advantage. And then... I'm going to jump over to this thing for this guy. Okay, so let's see. Cyan Wrath the blue fails. The Death Wisps all 3 fail. The Ancient Dragon passes, to the surprise of no one. And the Drowned Assassin also fails, I think. What's your
And
DC?
I want to... It's 22, but I also want to...
The dragon
think
fails.
I want to invoke one of the abilities I have, Emblazon, because I'm doing
reroll
a
for
fire
those
thing,
guys.
and because I rolled like garbage on most of these dice. I'm going to keep the 5 and the 6. So that's 11, and I'm going to
Okay.
reroll 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 D6.
Cool, so 11 plus 66.
Plus
Much
17.
better. 28. Very solid chunk. I think... Make sure... Okay. 28. Need to check. I think... These ghosty guys have 9 resistances. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 resistances. And fire is not a fucking one of them.
Wow, the one time I don't change my element.
Yeah, for real. Cool. Excellent. Dude, solid play. Goldbrand, did you take that as well?
I thought he flew up out of the way.
Oh no, you're good, yeah. I'm trying to decide, he's not gonna use his legendary resistance for that. Not for 28 points. He will take that.
I don't like this guy being right up on me, but I don't know what to do about it. What's the deal with these trees right here? I assume I can't stand in that.
You're talking about this over here?
Yeah.
We'll count that as difficult terrain. It is passable, but it's very dense foliage.
Okay. Let me do something really quick. I don't know if this is the right idea or not, but it's definitely a idea. Can I shadow step over there?
Yeah, I'd say the trees are definitely dim light.
All right, I'm gonna shadow step all the way over here behind Goldbrand and thank him for being the meat shield that he is.
Fantastic. If you're feared, you can make a new roll.
Oh, I will make a new roll. Thank you for reminding me.
You're welcome, buddy.
You said it's a... Ooh.
Gross.
Yeah, DC 20 wisdom save. You can use your mass to auto pass if you so choose. Goldbrand, this guy that you've left on the ground is going to leap at you.
He got to make save.
He's
for
got to make a
Maelstrom.
save to leap at you.
The Maelstrom.
Oh, thank you. Yes. What was that? A dex save?
It is it's a strength
Strength.
saving throw. Yeah.
Strength. That's better for him, actually. Oh, but he still rolled like shit. I assume a 15 fails?
No, sir. He takes. No, he does fail. I'm sorry. I thought you. My bad. I heard something didn't pass. I was like, no.
No.
17 bludgeoning damage, and he gets pulled 10 feet
17.
towards the middle.
Fantastic. 17. That's a good chunk of his hit points.
Yeah, he is.
He's not particularly sturdy. He is going to leap at you. You're how high in the air?
I gotta be 40. I assumed when we said that he missed, he went his speed, which would have been 40. When the fireball didn't hit, that'd been the only way it really made sense.
Yeah. Damn, that makes you just a little too high for what he wants you to be.
Cast spell, concentrate, fly away.
Pandora is currently hidden. Oh, whoops, didn't mean to do that. My bad. I'm gonna move everything now to get that one piece I dropped under fucking Davos. Yeah, he is going to leap into the air, and he takes his spear, and it begins to crackle with electrical energy as he lands and plows it into Davos. Because he's using his Dragoon Strike, he gets to make this with advantage. He's going to be pretty hard pressed to hit a Davos, though. Oh, 23?
Yes.
Oh
No. Sorry, I had to look. 24 is Davos' armor.
Oh, nice. Fantastic. He's furious because that cost him a little bit of action economy. He's still going to go for his other thing. A strength saving throw from Davos, please.
22. No?
Oh,
sorry.
Davos is...
I was looking at the wrong.
Sorry, Davos is knocked prone, and then he's going to also take 14 points of piercing damage. As once this guy leaps into the air, crashes down with his spear, Davos jumps out of the way, he yanks the spear up, sweeps him up the leg, and then comes back to pierce him with the other side. That brings us to the Death Wisps, two of which have to make saves. There's only 2 left. A 25 and a 14, so one of them definitely failed. Pulled 10 feet to the center, take 17. Do they take damage if they pass? Half or otherwise?
Sorry, I gotta scroll back up to it. What did he roll to pass? He rolled more than a 22?
He rolled a 25 total.
I'm not gonna will him. Fuck him. No. Succeed on a strength saving throw or take 66 bludgeoning damage and be pulled 10 feet towards the center. It is difficult
Cool.
for him.
So he passes. He doesn't have anything that can hit you 40 feet in the air. He's annoyed by that. He's going to. He doesn't know where Pandora is. He's not slowed though. He's gonna rush up onto Yuan, and Yuan, he's coming at you with 2 life drain attacks. Oh, a 25, I think hits.
Yep.
Take 23 points of damage, necrotic damage, and then make a Constitution saving throw.
You got all the way to him with half speed? God, they're fast.
This one is not slowed. He's the one who passed.
Inside of that was difficult terrain, inside my little circle.
Still, he has 60-foot fly speed. They technically hover because they are specters. I don't know if that would still be applicable for the difficult terrain, but regardless. You are good. You still take that, what did I say, 15 or 23 points
23,
of
yeah.
necrotic. I will tell you the reason I'm having you make checks is if you fail those, your hit point maximum goes down by that much, which is no es bueno.
Do love.
I think that brings us to Rezmir, who is still slowed and mad about it. Did Davos make a Constitution saving throw after he took that last hit?
I don't think so. What was the damage again? Let's go find
I forget if I rolled it or if I just used the average. 14 is the average, so we'll just use that. So he needs to beat a 10. He shouldn't have an issue with that, but I really want that slow gun, so I'm going to ask every time.
Oh, wow.
Oh, 2 1s! That does break his concentration on the slow spell, which I think was only affecting 2 of these guys now anyway. Fantastic. Rezmir is very happy about that. He still has to make his save to not get sucked up. A 24?
Yes.
24? Okay, so he's good. He's not pulled. He doesn't take damage. He is going to... he can hit you. Yeah, but not with what he wants to hit you with. See, he's going to get... he'll move over here, and he's going to come at you with 2 caustic bolts. 2 19s. I don't think either one of those hits a gold brand.
Those both meet.
Oh, damn. Okay, with the caustic bolt, that's a total of 46 points of acid damage.
I'll absorb elements though, since it's still taking up space on my spell list.
So taking up space. That'll be 23 points instead for you. And you do have a little extra on your next hit if you so choose to use it. That brings us to the drowned assassins, one of which is in your maelstrom. So he's going to roll a dex save real quick. A 10. Okay, so he gets sucked in toward the middle, takes 17 points. difficult terrain's going to be hard for him because he can't fly. He does have a crossbow. Interesting. Also interesting. I think that he is going to go. He's going to try to shoot you a couple of times, Goldbrand. I also need you to make a DC 12 concentration check for that last hit. And he's going to take 2 shots at you with a crossbow. Ooh, neither one of those hit, though. You pass your con save, you're good there. The other 2, this one doesn't know where Pandora is. One of these guys is going to come up. Oh, and he can't quite get to Argonox to make a clean swing. So he's also going to fire a crossbow. Does a 24 hit an Argonox?
No.
Yeah, there you go, buddy. Fantastic. Both of his swings missed in. The other one's coming up, and he's going to go with his... he's going to go with his dagger. An 18 and a 23, you want.
18 hits, and the 23 would hit if I didn't use shield.
Yeah, there you go. Fantastic. Both of those strikes glance off of you. As we come to the big bad boy, actually right before his turn, he's going to take a legendary action, because I keep forgetting to do those. He's going to take a tail attack on Davos.
Davos is theoretically prone.
Oh, thank you for that. Theoretically prone. That's better than actually prone. A 35 will hit then. It's funny, it would have been a 20 if he hadn't already been prone. He is going to take 18 points. He's still prone, and make a DC 10 concentration check.
What's his contract for?
Is it he? Oh no, his slow broke. That's right. What's the little cancel thing on him?
Feared.
A beard. Gotcha. Friendly reminder: if you made a turn in the last round to roll for that beard.
Dragon also has to roll his dex save.
Oh, for that fucking toe he
Yeah.
has in the water, I'll
Yeah.
allow it. But that's, I'll remember that for the future.
I said specifically I wanted to get all of them.
A 21. Oh wait, he has magic resistance, so he gets 2 of these. Oh, that's much worse.
I would woe this, but I can't.
It's
21 doesn't
17.
mean anyway.
Yeah,
he
it's
gets pulled 10
17
feet.
points, and he's pulled 10.
Get away from
That's
my
not
buddies.
a big deal for him. He'll take the
No.
21.
Might be a big deal if he gets pulled like 30 more feet if we live that long.
He's going to get moved 10 feet. He's going to walk out of it.
Good for
And
him.
over here, he is going to line up his shot. I think this is a line, actually. It is a line, but it's 10 feet wide. Yeah. I need Goldbrand, Pandora, and Davos to all make a dexterity saving throw.
Now hold on 2 seconds. Can he hit me and both of them? Them 2 on the ground, me 40 feet in the air?
I suppose he could hit Davos and you. It's a 10-foot wide beam. So, like, it's pretty broad. I think he would get all 3. I agree that it would have to be a sharp angle to hit you. But I think if Davos is right in front of him, you know.
Picks his head up.
Pandora, yeah, I mean, it's a 10-foot wide lightning bolt. It's pretty big. I'll say all 3. But thank you for helping me remember that. If you'll put a little wing symbol on you as well to help me remember that you're airborne. Goldbrand, Davos, Pandora, dex saves.
Sorry, I'm trying to find
Okay,
the wings.
hold on.
The wings. Dex. I can see this. 14 gross.
That's not great. Davos passes by 1. It's a 23. Barbara, you as a rogue are only going to take half of this. But I will give you a second if you want to use lucky or anything to. I'm sorry.
By the way, guys, I just remembered this. I'm sorry. Both this is applicable to both me and Davos, but we have aura protection, so you guys both get +4s to all your saving throws.
Whoa.
I just scrolled past that.
So that's a
Now,
24 for me then. If I'm
I thought we looked and Davos didn't have it, but you did.
Oh, I
'Cause
have it.
he'll-
I have it.
oh
Yeah. I don't think Davos does because he only has like a dip in Paladin.
He's only got level 3.
So sorry, that's but you do have either luck points or legendary resistance. But this is going to be 88 points of lightning damage. Or half as much. honestly.
yeah, which would be 44 for me.
Yeah. You could
Yeah,
pass to make it 22, but you either have to use your last luck point to chance it or your legendary resistance.
Okay, I got another question. Would Uncanny Dodge stack with that as a reaction?
Uncanny Dodge, I think, is
Like-
only...
What-
Uncanny Dodge is not a reaction. Oh,
Yeah, it is.
No,
Uncanny
no.
Dodge is a react. Evasion
Uncanny-
is a feat. Like
yeah,
that's your
evasion is for saving throws. Uncanny Dodge is for attack rolls. They serve two
Oh,
different
attack throws. You're right. You're
functions.
right. Well,
So
it just says when I'm hit with an attack.
being
So I
hit with an
wasn't
attack is
Sure
when
if
they
this is
roll to
considered
hit.
an attack.
No, you fail a saving throw for this. Mechanically, they serve. You're covered on both ends, but they don't overlap. So if you took that full 88 gold brand, I need you to roll a Constitution saving throw DC of 44, which I think we know what's going to happen there. But
Jesus.
yeah, this is an ancient.
Okay, so if I use my legendary resistance. Oh, sorry. No, go ahead.
If you use your legendary resistance, you don't take anything because you don't take damage from dex saves that you fail or that you pass.
Right. I was gonna ask though, if I'm just relying on my evasion and taking half damage, do I then also have to roll the Constitution save that Goldbrand's having to roll?
No, he's making that because he's concentrating on the spell.
Oh, I see.
Oh.
I see. Okay.
Goldbrand, that's a natural 20?
Yep.
You know what? I'll fucking allow it. Goldbrand, as the coursing electricity runs through your body, you feel yourself lock up and you refuse to relent, and the maelstrom swirls about you. I'm going to let you keep that. Everyone else takes damage. I don't know if you marked off Davos or not yet.
I did.
That brings us to Arcanox, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know why it reset.
Everybody panic.
Mass panic. He still has one more legendary action, too.
I'm not
just
gonna
don't know
panic
what I'm
unless
doing
he
with
rolls a 6 next round.
it. Yeah, that's a good point. A 5 or a 6, I will say.
I didn't want to admit it.
What you got, Ark?
Let's see here.
I
Agreed.
said
by
Ark,
the-
not Pandora. Finnegan.
No, Finny boo boo.
You're the roller.
Can't move towards a dragon.
Yeah, you've got one guy just past you on your right. You've probably got a good line of sight on these two.
Actually, yeah, I'm gonna move a little bit. Alright, I'm swinging on this guy twice.
Get him.
1921.
Oh, I think that definitely hits. Let me double check. Yeah, both of those are good.
Ooh, 1010. Look at that. Beautiful.
Solid. All right, you got one more swing and a bonus action.
Tell you what. Because I do not like this one. using Draconic Ferocity on the big dragon. It's gonna be fire type.
Ooh, hell yeah. You know what? That's a 30-foot line?
It is 30-foot line. No, 60-foot line by 10. It's a 30-foot cone.
Oh, if you're doing a cone.
No, it's a 60-foot line. It's a 30-foot cone you're thinking of.
I see. I gotcha. So, you could move like 2 squares down and then get both this guy and the dragon in that if you want.
Actually, beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah. What's your I know that's a dex save. What's your DC?
19.
And the ferocity, does that make them make a disadvantage? I'm trying to remember. It's been a minute.
Ferocity. Yes, at disadvantage.
That's great because the dragon rolled a nat 20. And let me roll for the other guy at disadvantage. First guy fails for sure. He is looking rough. You said a 19 with a disadvantage. The dragon rolled a 20. So he's going to take half of that, which 37 halved would be 19. So he's going to be boom. Solid chunk of damage. Fantastic. All right, I think that was your. Do you still have a bonus action?
Yeah, but I'm gonna hold it so I can keep Shield of Faith up.
Cool. We round to Davos.
Actually, I think that's wrong. Davos went first, right? Was he not the 26 earlier?
Oh, it changed him again. I'm sorry. You know when the turn tracker resets sometimes and it's dumb? Thank you for keeping me honest. It is 1 o'clock, so I think we are actually
I was
going
about
to
to
call
say.
it there. I didn't even realize how late it had gotten. But we are going to put a pin in this. We will resume here next week as we tangle with the Draco Lich in the Lonely Moor. Thank you very much for joining us. Stay safe, take care of yourselves, and keep rolling.